G'day guys and welcome to the Centre Bounce for another Monday night live stream as is usual.
Oh,
Big
Joe.
J, you're a little late, Big J.
Nice to be here. You know.
Are you a little late?
Yeah, Velo, I tricked you, buddy. We've been here the whole time. Mate, it's good. Footy's back, life's back. You know, no complaints here. Hey.
100%. Hope we're all doing well. What did you guys think of that countdown music? We did nothing of the sort. We're just as confused as you are. Why the countdown music changed? Let us know if you think that it's better. I personally thought it was way too chill for what is normally a very hyped stream on Monday. So I wish there was a way for us to change that back. Let us know if it put you to sleep in anticipation.
If not, we can fix it ourselves. It just means uploading a new video. That's obviously the generic one. So, yeah, there we go.
There we go. See, I'm glad. Yeah, that was weird. It was very weird. We basically spent a minute be like, oi, what the hell's going on? Why the hell is the music different? Something's not right.
Yeah.
It's all right. We'll get the show on the road. Oh, yes. Settle down. Big J does not blow early. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, wow, way. Shaq's in the chat. TDK
up,
season
Shaq?
over, no start. If you don't start Tom DeConnick, it's season over, is basically what Shaq is telling us, because there are some big news, ladies and gentlemen. Big news coming out of Carlton, Big J.
Yeah, definitely. Mark Pitnet out with a calf injury, I'm pretty sure. Was set to be playing round one with the rest of the team. So, yeah, just kind of how it goes. TDK's there now. I was saying to Joe off air, hey, what happens with Carlton? Do they have someone else that can cover the position? Wait and see. Carlton fans will know. I know there's a few of you guys in the chat. So I guess just kind of let us know. Hey, who covers Pitnet? Because if Curno's out for a little bit of time as well, it could make some real problems for us.
Look, I don't know. I'm not sure if Curno misses much. I'm pretty sure Carlton was saying when it first happened that he avoided structural damage, which is obviously really good, and that they are confident that he plays in round one. So that's really good.
Yeah.
If he's playing round one,
but we'll see.
You have?
Yeah. I heard from someone who's a Carlton supporter, hey, they might not be letting on as much as what they're saying, but we'll see.
Well, fair enough. We'll see what happens. But this is huge news with Pitene suffering a calf injury. This is from Mitch Cleary. It's not from that fake, what was his name? Tom Brown 7. It's not from fake Tom Brown 7 who loves to fake out all the Carlton supporters. This is an genuine Mitch Cleary here, reporter. Carlton ruckman Mark Pitene has suffered a calf injury, which is expected to sideline him for the start of the season. The Blues will know the exact severity in coming days. If there was any doubt, it'll mean Tom DeConning is a lock to solo ruck. Mitch Cleary might as well have put hashtag Supercoach as well, because you don't give us this juicy, delicious lingo, mate, without putting in hashtag Supercoach.
I think definitely as well. No Jared Healy for him too. Jared Waitley. It's an interesting one. I think a lot of us have been tossing up what happens with that R2. I've seen a few Flynns at the moment. I've seen a few Boyds. I've seen a couple of Reedies at the moment. I think kind of this TDK pseudo news means that you got to lock him into that R2 spot. I might just run Gorn and TDK, and we'll see what kind of happens from there. At the very least, TDK becomes flex, and then you upgrade, into a cherry come round 12. Or sorry, round 13, because I know you've been kind of harping on that, saying it's a good choice, Joe.
Yeah. This was my dream all along. My dream all along was to start TDK, get him nice and early for his really piss weak run. Excuse the French. It's a really easy run that he's got to start off the season, and we can pull it up once again. And I just wanted to start him with he has the early easy run. Sherry obviously has the difficult run to start the season, and it will just be an easy flip to get him there. Could even make money in the process. Going to Carlton, West Carlton, Richmond Green, Hawthorn Green, Dogs Green, Collingwood Shore, West Coast Green, North is Shore, Geelong is Green again here. And then these are sort of neutral.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. He's got 5 green matchups out of his first 7. And that to me is just super juicy to start with DeConning, get him to make some money, and then flip him to Sherry. Legend. Guys, if it was me, I put Peter in What a selfless man you are, Legend. It almost seems like you knew what was going to happen. Let's put it back there. G'day, Velo. Thoughts on Adelaide's signing of Lachlan McAndrew? $119,900, and he did okay when he played for Sydney. He is a massive unit at 210 centimeters.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, if he doesn't keep getting injured, then cool, no worries. I think the thing with Adelaide, though, is that they might end up just running Rob. And then I think Strawn's injured. So potentially they can play both. But I think the only way that he gets a spot is if he, like Rob gets injured or someone like a Philthorpe gets injured. I think that's the only way he plays, to be honest. But he's really good via Sandful cover, so he should be okay for them. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure Strawn's injured.
Yeah, I mean, but McAndrew just screams. He's played 2 games. He scored a 53 and then was subbed off with a 23 on 42% time on ground. Look, he was raw. The reason why he took so long is that I'm pretty sure, if I recall correctly, McAndrew actually came from a different sport. He hasn't been a born and bred footballer his entire life. So it's taken some time, I think, for him to develop, not just body-wise, but also in terms of his football smarts. Quite a few of these ruckmen, you see them come from different codes, and then it takes them a bit of time. They just don't have that natural football IQ. Like, look at Cox, for example. Mason Cox from Collingwood. He's played the game now for how long, and he still struggles with decision making. So maybe one to keep an eye on. We'll see whether or not he actually gets a gig or not. Oh, Velo! Happy birthday!
Oh, thank you very much, Velo. Thank you very much. Big birthday tomorrow, so hopefully everyone has a good day. Yeah, it should be good.
Oh, mate, we're gonna have to sing you happy birthday at some stage during the night. Mate, it would be great. Imagine if we had all the viewers just simply like their faces popped up and the entire stream was just filled with all the viewers' faces singing you a happy birthday. That would be unreal. That would be very cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
Michael, g'day, Michael. I'm getting dizzy changing all the injured rookies in my team. Oh,
yep.
Yes.
I know. Jagger Smith definitely being injured is not great. It's a rough one. I think kind of just this is the right time for it to happen. I mean, it's not the right time for it to ever happen, but it's the right time for it to happen. I mean, you don't want to have this on the eve of round 1 or heck, heading into round 1 that these injuries kind of happen. So if it comes, it comes. That's kind of Supercoach in football, but sucks for Carlton. I mean, they've already got more players out already. Nick Newman's out for the year. Jagger Smith's out for the year. A few other people as well. And then, hey, like they missed out on another person. So,
yep.
Yeah. Scroll up, Joe. What was that? They're going to SSP someone?
No, this is, ladies and gentlemen, this is Tom Brown 7. A perfect example. I referred to him before, and Tom Brown 7 pops up. This man is not real. This Tom Brown 7 is a satire account, ladies and gentlemen.
That'd be cool, though. Tell you what, if they sign Prime Train for the year.
Yeah, so Tom Brown 7, he's a fraudster. He has faked out many a person. So be careful, ladies and gentlemen. Just because you see it doesn't mean necessarily that it is correct. But this underneath it here, Carlton, it's confirmed out for the season. We'll get him cheap next year. Hopefully he recovers well and absolutely
end up being a 117k rookie. So maybe not. Maybe like 150.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Cheese. Tom Brown 7 has got all of us in the past. Well, he's so notorious now that we've identified him now. We can tell who it is, but he still gets people every now and then. It's ridiculous. But yes, the injuries to the rookies are dropping left and right, which has me now restructuring my team. I will be recording an updated team review. It's got quite a bit of change. Quite a bit of change to it. I'll give you. I'll tell you that much. It's changed quite a bit in light of updated information from the previews, from the obviously the match reports, the track watches, and the injuries that have come. So the team is being structured a little bit, and we're trying to keep these rookies off the field, I think, because they're either dropping like flies or they're going to be subbed. So that's an issue that I have.
Yeah, it's beautiful thing about preseason is that you can adapt as much as you want and change the entire structure of your team. Come round one, it's like, oh, well, we're locked in now. So there's something to be said about the people who kind of make their team on the eve of round one, just going off the information they have available. But then they're not as cool and they can't watch centre bounce content and they're not doing as much. Things kind of, it's no good.
No good.
Hey, boys, how's the post-Pracky Games teams looking? Well, Joe's kind of gone over his. I think I'm going to put a few extra new players in, some guys. I just wanted to see kind of a Perryman's type role and Peatling as well and a few others. What are your thoughts on Peatling? Maybe I'll go first, Joe.
Go for it.
I didn't mind Peatling's game, but I don't think they used him as much as what they should have. And I think it's going to turn out to be one of those, there's too many people like trying to get the ball through the middle there. Similar to a North Melbourne, I think a lot of people, and maybe it is just kind of curb your enthusiasm a little bit on what you want Peatling to be. Now, if you want Peatling to be a guy who scores 80 to 85, maybe a 90, and he, costs 350K, cool. No worries. I think that's what you're going to get. But if you're thinking that at 350K he's going to be a primo for your team, probably not. And I think we saw that a little bit with the game on the weekend. And I think, Adelaide still had Rankin to go through there as well. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah. It's entirely based on role for Peatling. If he's getting the centre bounces and therefore the tackles, he should be okay. But if he's playing a bit more wing, like we saw him do on the weekend, it's a little bit awkward. Hoping that he would be the on-baller in there, but they've just got so many people running through that midfield. Like, you hear news all the time about everyone's running off half back, but for Adelaide, everyone's running through that midfield. It's ridiculous. Like, there's
and we saw it in the game.
Yeah, you saw it in the game. There's Dawson, there's Peatling, there's Draper, of course, there's Crouch, there's Saligo. You might have Berry, you might not have him. There's quite a few players who will come in and out. Cumming might have, unlikely for Cumming. That was a mistake. But there's like five or six people that will be running through that midfield. And to me, it just seems that when you've got so many people running through there, it's hard to get bulk minutes because it's being shared across. So really one to keep a close eye on in the official practice game that we're going to have, with hopefully better camera footage, hopefully, access to better statistics that are more accurate. Massive thanks to Woodsy, of course, for doing such a great job over this preseason with the stats. But yeah, Peatling is one that he's in that middle. Do you go for a rookie, or because the midfield rookies are pretty good, or do you just pay up a little bit more and try and get someone who's a bit more proven, like a Chera, for example? That's one that we'll to assess.
Yeah, I think as well, if you look at kind of what we found over the last week or so, the likes of Hugo Garcia is definitely coming and cementing his position. So, hey, do a lot of people go and they say, well, I'll just, save 100K and go a Garcia instead for a guy who, to score a similar amount, potentially even a little bit more, and is a lot cheaper. Maybe he's a better selection. Or I'll go the other way and say, hey, maybe I can go a Bailey Dale to a Peatling, and then, to a Perryman, and then I've now got enough money to go and upgrade, a Peatling to a Chera or a Day or an Oliver, we were kind of offered a little bit, but I might see some 6 deep midfields. 3 of the cheaper guys, plus a Bond, plus maybe a Brayshaw and a Sarong or a Brayshaw and a Butters. It's pretty doable, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I might be going a bit more value this year. Might be year of the value, but we'll see. We'll see. Jaden, g'day, Jaden. Most reliable rookies in each position. They're dropping like the rucks.
Well, funnily enough, it's your old mate Zach Reed who's been named for tomorrow's game. That might end up being one of the better selections. So we'll wait and see for what happens there. But yeah, kind of the must-have names are the ones that are named like that, and then people start to fall off a bit, like you say. And this is where we start to look at. This is where kind of preseason knowledge comes into play a lot, because we've heard about Pryor since he came across from Brisbane. We've heard about a Reed. We've heard about the guys like Booslinger and a few of the others who, it's not like they just randomly show up in round 1 and then it's like, oh, are they good picks? Are they not good picks? You now have 3 months worth of kind of knowledge on the players a little bit.
Connor O'Sullivan as well has been named on the field, which is excellent. And you look at who is out. I mean, are any of these guys going to be playing in the back line, really, to kick?
I think it's more
O'Sullivan out.
Collar Jasny is probably I think they were saying might be the only one, but he's named on the extended interchange. So, maybe he's fighting for a spot with O'Sullivan. Who knows?
So hopefully, well, the thing is normally the case is if you're named on field, it means you're playing. But this is, of course, Chris Scott, who we're talking about. So you can't trust anything, even if it's in writing. You can't trust Chris Scott. So Connor O'Sullivan, if he's named and plays, he could be a really good rookie for us. Where's Mitch Nevitt? Mitch Nevitt named on the ball, and a positive thing about Mitch Nevitt is that he's not an 18 or 19-year-old kid who's just been drafted. He's been in the system now for more than a year. So we love to see these types of youngsters who have gone through the system, gone through the seconds, really integrated into the team, has obviously therefore have built their endurance. And Mitch Nevitt, we saw in the preseason game that he was the number 1, I think, attending rookie or midfielder in general.
Yeah, like 100%,
which you love to see.
Yeah, at about 100% centre bounce. Big Trav, thank you very much, Trav. Starting Meek and TDK now, both great starts. Yeah, I think I might go Gawn TDK just because I love Gawn. And if you antipod Gawn, it never works out. Barring him being injured, obviously he didn't play versus North Melbourne in the practice match. Meek scares me a little bit just because of the bye round. So I'd prefer to have my rucks not, be suffered by a bye versus being suffered by a bye.
Well, it's true that the Hawks, start off with Sydney, who are restrictive, and then the Bombers.
Round 0 doesn't count. So
yes, but it still counts for his price action.
That's true.
So he might have a bad score potentially against the Swans. He might then have a bad score against the Bombers, who we love to run the double ruck, and we were the most restrictive team against rucks last year. So these are pretty tough first 2 before then having a green matchup against Carlton, a neutral against the Giants, and then a bye. So you're most likely going to drop in price at this point. And then afterwards, it gets pretty good, where he has Port, Geelong, West Coast, Richmond. Might be an idea to, I don't know, look to get him in after his bye, perhaps. That would be kind of crazy when it starts to open up. I mean, round 5, upgrading the team, getting in Meek for a pretty good starting run. But I think DeConning certainly worth starting at the start of the year, particularly with the injury to Pitane. So I think everyone's jumping back on TDK now, and rightfully so.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks again, Trav. You're a legend.
Michael.
Michael. Yep.
Thoughts on Dan Curtin after Van Berlo stated? Yeah, George kind of went on about him as well, and it's an interesting one. I think sometimes in AFL there's players that just need to be picked because of how good they are, and I think that's the same with Dan Curtin. Like, he's too good to play VFL. needs to play in the seniors. But Adelaide's in a bit of a weird spot where they've got a lot of good players that can play across a lot of good positions. If he ends up being a swingman for them, fantastic. But as a third tall, I think he'll be fine. Like third or fourth tall, chuck him in there. He's quick enough. He can kind of do it. So they'll be okay. I just don't know if we're going to pick him in Supercoach. Watch and see kind of the next week's game to count that out a little bit. There's other options. Like, would you pick him over a Joe Berry Joe? Joe Berry Joe.
Would I pick him over Berry? Look, they're about the same price, but Curtin isn't a youngster like Joe Berry is. Joe Berry, though, more likely to run up the ground. Does he get used? Does he get subbed? Does he get used as the sub to bring speed into the game? Whereas Dan Curtin's a bit of a grinding workhorse. I like Curtin when he's playing half forward. Center half forward, Dan Curtin, he's a handful. He's a gun. But if they don't know where they're going to play him, they're playing him all over the shop, then you might as well go with Berry. Because I think Berry, he's very good. Berry is a very good player. So, and he can play high. I wanted us to trade up for him at the Bombers to get him in. Both him and Kako would have been a dream come true. But if you have to pick one of Curtin or Berry, go Berry. He's cheaper. He has a pretty good run to start the season. I'm pretty sure if I go to
I think Port Adelaide in general just have a decent run.
If I go to general forwards, we've got a Port Adelaide, Collingwood, Richmond, Essendon. I mean, he could kick a bag. He could. Joe Berry could do really well. No tough matchups for him. So yeah, if you have to pick between Joe Berry or Curtin, I might go Joe Berry personally. The thing is, he's a small forward. He's going to have hit or miss games is the problem.
Just for our Carlton fans, I don't know if it's legit or not, but a player called Will White has been picked for Jagger Smith for this year. A 20-year-old from South Warrnambool can apparently play forward and midfield. So, so if it makes a bit of a difference.
Ian, will be hard to judge the Conning tomorrow with Stanley not playing.
Yeah, potentially, but and I think that's always been the question mark over the pick. Like, I assume Stanley, when he plays, is best 22, so it shouldn't matter too much. But that's really just the question mark, I think. It's why people are a bit funny on SDK and just in general. 360k Ruckman as a defender, perfect. But if he's not getting number one, then, or if he's sharing majority time, which I don't know how much he'll do with Closey, but definitely with Stanley in the team, that's what you're thinking. A bit tricky.
Just trying to look at this team, and there's Blixarves, and Blixarves occasionally can pinch it as well, because he's a big man, Mark Blixarves, and he becomes almost like a Grundy / English type extra midfielder around the stoppage. So that's the problem with DeConning. We just don't know how much ruck time he's going to get, and even when he does, his ruck craft just isn't there. You look at him play when he was playing in that practice game against the Hawks. It was the exact same thing. It was jump up, put your hands. He would put his hand on Meek and just hit the ball. And more often than not, he hit it straight to a Hawthorn player. So yes, he's put on size, but ruck is not his natural position. He is an intercept defender. So he's gonna get a few hits sharked, and that will naturally, I think, limit his scoring ability. Thankfully for him, though, I guess if you're gonna roll the dice with SDK, sharked hitouts is -1, but then a hit to advantage is +5. So even if he stuffs up 5 times but gets it right once, he's back to square one. Now, I don't want to be the guy, though, to be sitting there with pins and needles or with, what's it called? Those toothpicks, trying to keep my eyes open because I'm terrified every time you're going to find SDK in the ruck.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not gonna go SDK. I want my sanity more than I want my team to be good.
Yeah, like I've seen a few people out picking like Blight and things like that, and I'm like, cool, okay, no dramas there. But I think you can go a little bit too crazy in the back line, and I don't think SDK being Ruck, if he comes out and averages you like a 90, cool. Well, now you've lost like 100k in the trade. It's not the end of the world, so he'll never really become out of reach. I think.
Yeah.
Take him if you're desperate. But there's another guy at the back who, if Rodney is watching the stream, he'll know who I'm talking about. A certain L Humphreys who dominated in the Indigenous game has now come back, and yeah, 415k odd could be fantastic for us. So yeah, not too bad.
I don't know. That price point's getting a little awkward for my liking.
Well,
personally.
it's him, it's Perryman, it's a few other guys around there. But, if you don't have the money for a McKercher or you don't want to get a Roberts or something, it could be viable for you.
Fair enough. Jake Sharp, Pitane sideline to start the season. Oh no, this is big news. Jaden, do we know why Baz Smith isn't playing against the Bombers? We do, actually. Xander Maguire tells us that Bailey Smith won't play in Geelong's practice match against Essendon tomorrow night because he had a light week on the track with a strapped knee after sustaining a knock in the catches scratch match against the Hawks. What do we do?
Well, for a guy that is 60% owned-ish at the moment, if you want to antipod him, it's not bad. I think a lot of people may go Horn Francis from him for an extra 140k, which you could get from Peatling to Garcia, pretty close. So maybe that's the play. End up with a keeper instead of two mid prices, so it could work out. I think it comes down to a little bit, what do you actually expect from Bailey Smith? Do you want him to be, are you thinking he's going to be a keeper for the year, or do you think he's going to be a bit of a stepping stone? And if he's only a stepping stone, then it's okay to antipod him, I think, a little bit. That early buy just hurts. Hurts quite a lot.
I think I'm antipodding him.
Yeah.
I think I'm antipodding him. A lot of people were saying that they like what they saw in the preseason game. Yeah, he was running, the main was flowing, but the problem is I don't think there was enough centre bounce attendance for my liking, firstly. And secondly,
he was playing wing.
He's playing a bit wing. And secondly, he's got the bye. And thirdly, he is a bit of a marketing shill, a little bit. Like, he's clearly playing with his pockets in mind. He's got the sponsorships going. He's got the cotton on. We all know about that. It was the world's worst kept secret. We all knew he was going to Geelong, playing with the Nike swish on his bandana or headband. Told, hey, nah, you're gonna have to play it inside out. Means the Nike brand won't be sticking out. So for me, I feel like it's more of a show more than anything, and I just don't think that role is necessarily going to be the best. They were always going to manage him entering into the season, considering the injury that he had, the nature of the ACL. But now you add on top of that the fact that he's got a knock on his knee. Now, does that mean they're going to throw him right back into the midfield again? He's a prized recruit. They've spent up a lot of money. I don't know. For me, I think there's just enough question marks. And just because a lot of people own him doesn't necessarily mean that you have to start him. And for me, I think I'm leaning towards fading him, personally. How come Mills is not playing in the Pracky matches?
Yeah, play. There you go.
Thanks, Velo. Much appreciated.
Thanks, Velo.
Managing mild plantar fasciitis. So
yeah, it's tricky, man. It's a tricky one. I've had it before, and it sucks. Nick Dacos has had it before, and then, hey, look, he kind of went through it. At some point, Joe, I wonder if kind of the cliff falls for a Mills, and it's like, well, hey, I think it's going to be too many injuries, too many problems. Seems to be something every second week for him. And then, his career obviously hasn't played a full season worth of games in a while. So are you one of the people that ends up getting him and then he becomes an uber primo in the back line and, you've held the faith? Or are you like, well, I can get someone else, and then he won't really hurt me if I've got to upgrade into him. I'm slowly feeling like that might be a thing if we hear a couple more injuries from him.
He's adamant he'll make it for opening round, but I mean, at the end of the day,
that's what they all say.
Exactly, that's what they all say. It's not your decision. If you're clearly impeded, it will be the coaching staff and the medical team that will make the final call on whether or not you play. Now, you're saying that you've had a full preseason, which is great, and it's reared its head in the last week or so. It all comes down to how you manage it the rest of the way. So you might have to be careful, and we might have to be flexible. Just because he says he's adamant to play, I think all of us should be wary and ready in the event that he doesn't play, that we have an avenue to go out from.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I saw that. Shawnee, g'day, Sean. Greetings to you and
Sean?
everybody.
How you doing,
Charles? Mate? G'day, Charles. Good to see you, my friend.
How you going, Charles?
Jonas is in. CBD, Cinnabounds Dudes Monday. You got it.
There you go.
Rookie coach. We go from carnage to saviors. The Conning brothers are definitely on the radar for good now.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely see. We've got a couple more weeks until round 0. Until round 1. So we'll see what happens. But potentially, mate, it could be, I think it was it Pelican and SDK? Remember there was a year, Joe, where both of them had forward and defender. I'm pretty sure it was Pelican and SDK, and then you know what I mean. Him and SDK, and they both just ended up, people could have kept them the whole year. So maybe that's the same with the Connings. How many ruck defenders have we had in Supercoach that have actually become viable picks? Not that many. Yes.
Forward defensive status.
Hi, Mark. How you doing, Ben? TDK back on the menu. Yep, we'll see. It just depends. So you would hope that Pitnet comes straight back in. Well, not hope, but that's what you would think from a Carlton. So especially if Curno's injury is not great. So we'll wait and see. Take the risk a little bit. You can start him 100%, but take the risk that at some point he may just jump. He may dive bomb in scoring, and that's a Pitnet watch more than anything else.
No, they're going to win.
Mark.
They're going to start winning. They're going to win. The problem is, and all the great thing is, Carlton come in. Carlton have a 9-1 record with the Conning rucking. This is excellent. If they start the season hot, they're performing really well. There are no injuries in the forward line. TDK stays. TDK rucks, and we cook, we eat, we devour. Yes, TDK absolutely back on the menu, 100%. Good afternoon to you, Michael. Good to see you.
What's up, Michael?
Here we go. All the lads are in. Even Anne Louise is in. Hi, guys. Is Smith from Geelong injured?
Yes, he's done himself a knee. So we'll wait and see what happens. It's currently strapped. He's not playing tomorrow. So, yeah, I think someone was saying that was partly why he didn't play the full game as well in the match last week, Joe.
Yeah, only played half a game, right, last week?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so I think there's enough question marks over it. It's not soft tissue, which is good, but it's a knee problem, and he's coming off a knee injury in the past. So that's just a bit difficult. Okay, Sports Nut, how you doing? Michael, Chinese AI taking over the show. This is in relation to the weird starting opening music.
Hey, I'm just going to go download some new ones, and then we're fine. But
yeah, good idea. Maltesing. G'day, Maltesing. Good evening, all. Made it on time for a change. Wow, players are dropping like flies.
There you go.
Look, Ruben Jimby isn't, and Shannon Humphries is obviously very happy being a West Coast Eagles supporter. You might be the only person, Shannon, in this entire chat. Oh, Michael would be happy to. Ruben Jimby has avoided suspension. A lot of people were going after him. What do you reckon? Do you think he should have copped the suspension?
I think it's a pretty rough hit. It's 50-50 either way, right? Like, you hate to see a player who has started his career, kind of come in early draft pick, getting injured at the start. But I don't think it was as blatant sniping as a like Jai Simkin versus what's his face hit. I don't think it was as bad. From memory, both of them jumped for the ball. It was just, one got hit and the other one didn't get hit, or both of them got injured. Let's see. Wait for the sports bet. Bloody sports bet.
Bloody sports bet. 4, 3. Yes. This should be at the start. So Here we go.
If we watch. Full screen.
Ball's coming in. He's pushed it in. Let's go full screen. Let's.
And then it stops working.
And then we stop working. Excellent. So the ball's up there. Look, we're looking over here.
Yep. So they're contesting for the ball. Yep. They're contesting for the ball. Cool. So he pushes him, does he?
He pushes him. You can see the ball's not making it. He's gone up for the mark. He's completely given up on the ball, and he's just gone and pushed him in.
Okay, cool. All right. Seeing that, suspension. I think if Jinbi, I think it would be a free kick if, like, just how it's officiated now, free kick normally, but I think it's a rough one if you get you've obviously the act has dictated what it's going to be, so I think it's
the push was entirely unnecessary. He knew he saw that he was going to get to it.
I thought he did his arm, and then now it's obviously a jaw, but
it's like jaw. His arm. He's been hit high. So I personally didn't like it. I thought it was completely unnecessary in a practice game, personally speaking. But lucky for him, he gets to live to fight another day. Good for him, I guess. Moving on to my God, Mark Lavelle.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Ooh, look at that. Happy birthday. A beer on me. Enjoy the day. Now, guys, how many games will it take to get a call up? What do you mean? A call up for who? Yep. Who's going to get the call up?
Who, Mark? Let us know.
Call up for who? You gotta let us know. All right, let's keep going back. Michael, there you go. So he should. There you go. So I knew it. Michael also wanted him not to get suspended. The Eagles supporters in full force.
Even the suspension, just a week. Week's easy. Supercoach Pro, how you doing, mate? Hope you're all well. SDK is now my flex, mate. Wait and see with SDK. I'm saying, just wait and see. He'll do really well on the weekend, and then it will be like, oh, cool. And then round 1 comes around, and then Stanley's named, and then that's the only thing. And the problem is price. His price is the toughest thing because there's not many selections around the price. So you almost need to keep 50K just in case SDK doesn't work out. So you can do it. Maybe you go SDK to Peatling or something if you've got the Switch, but still not great.
I mean, you can't trust Chris Scott as far as you can throw him. But the thing is, Brad, you are a one buff man. Brad is very strong. Brad can probably lift up Chris Scott and throw him pretty far. That's how strong Brad is. If you haven't subscribed to Brad, the Supercoach Pro, he has the body of an Adonis, and every 2 days, he's out on a Tinder date. All the ladies know, and they want him, and they love him, and I love you just as much. All right, Brad? So maybe he can throw Chris Scott very far, therefore he's willing to start him. He trusts him very much, clearly. Good luck with that, Brad. Good luck.
We'll see.
Oh, Tom Edwards. Yeah. Mark's asking about Tom Edwards. How long till he gets a call up?
Does he start round 1, Joe? Because he's named on the extended bench, right?
Yeah, he's here. Last name on the bench. Look, Tom Edwards, he actually did very well in our subsequent intra-club game. First quarter, he kicked the first 2 goals of the game right off the bat. This guy just knows where the big sticks are. Tom Edwards is a goal-kicking machine, and I don't want to jinx him or anything. Touch wood. I'm touching my desk very harsh, very strongly here. He could play pretty damn early. I'm not even joking. He could. That's what we want. We want players who can score from different avenues, whether it's marking in a pack or on a lead or on ground level. he can do it all. I would not be surprised if this guy gets the call up pretty early on in the season. But the thing is, the forward line does have quite a bit of competition. So when you got, for example, when Matt Guelphy comes back from his hammy, does Guelphy come back in and kick Edwards out? Obviously, Jai Menzies is also fighting for a spot. He's not injured either. I think Edwards is ahead of Menzies, but does he keep his spot in the side? He's a 191 centimeter, so who would he be fighting with maybe as a third tall? So do we run Peter Wright, or is Peter Wright now not in our best 22? I don't think Peter Wright is in our best 23. I personally think he's out. The question then becomes, do we run Jones? Are we playing Jones or are we playing Edwards? So that might be, I know Jones, we like him on a wing pushing forward, but you can't have too many wing. But you can't have too many 190 plus centimeter players in your forward line, and it just won't function anymore because the ball will just bounce out. So keep a close eye. A lot of spots up for grabs, and there's a lot of competition for spots. We know Sadil Howard is also fighting for a spot in the team with where's his face? Archie Roberts. So it seems Roberts is ahead based on the games that he played last year, but that's subject to change. So I don't know, Mark. It's an interesting one for Brad Scott to wrestle with. But as long as Tom Edwards is kicking goals, I think you just have to name him.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think SSP picked. It's always the state league players, man. The guys that are established. You guys have obviously seen there needing to be a position for him, so just chuck him in there.
Yeah, exactly. There's too many tools, 100%. So Draper, I think, is definitely playing. Wright, I don't think is playing. Caddy's for sure playing, and Langford is for sure playing. The question then becomes, are we running Jones as well? Now, if we're going to play Edwards, I would prefer that we drop Jones. It's just too tall, but unfortunately, the weird thing is Brad Scott, in an interview with Cal Toomey, said that he doesn't believe in a team being too tall, but he believes in a team being too immobile. So I'm a bit, so we might end up playing all of these guys, which is kind of crazy.
I kind of go with that as well, right? Like, if you've got enough mobile players, it doesn't really matter how tall they are. So it could end up being, hey, that's just how the team works,
Yeah, but I think Peter Wright, of all those names, is by
he's
far
definitely the slow one. Yeah.
Yes, he's by far the one.
And that's kind of why he was kicked out of why unfortunately he was kicked out of Gold Coast. Yeah.
Correct. All right, rookie coach. All right, defensive picks: Perryman and Mills, or Perryman and SDK, or all three.
You could pick all three, man. There's a world where all three work out. I mean, it's only one buy round, right? So if you've got two guys on the bench, you've now got two playing players on the bench covering the positions, and then the flex. So that week, cool. You don't have 22, you've got 21. The only problem with that is that maybe you can't have an O'Sullivan in your team, and I don't know if that's going to be too many. I think Geelong have that same buy round as well, right?
I was just about to say, Velo, you are all over it. All three of those players
of course,
have the same buy. If you're going to run, and if you're running O'Sullivan if you're running O'Sullivan as cover, he's also got the buy that week.
Well, that's why I mentioned him.
Yeah, so it's too many players from the same buy for me. I don't like it. I think having more players just gives you better opportunity to eliminate poorer scores. Whereas if you're already fielding a bunch of donuts, you're not going to have the benefit of it being best 18 anyway. Whereas the other teams, because the other teams that are fine, have got all of the cover in that buy round, all of their crap scores are going to drop out. Whereas for the people who have got quite a few of those early buy players in their team, they're going to just take what they get, which does without the benefit of having it of really taking advantage of the best 18, so to speak. So I think having all of them is too much. I think you got to pick. Like if Mills plays, I think you pick Mills because I think pick Mills. Mills is great.
Oh,
Perryman,
if he's fit.
If he's fit,
sure.
Perryman,
He'd be my first one.
Perryman probably at that price point, you want him to go 105 for him to make you money. Do you think Perryman goes 105 every week as a defensive midfielder? He might. I see him as center field 2.0.
It's a watch and see for me. And the beautiful thing about Collingwood is they've got round 0. So we're okay. Yeah.
I see Perryman as almost center field 2.0. The defensive midfielder. He could be
makes you a bunch of cash and then you get rid of him.
Well, unfortunately, we couldn't see that because he got injured. Yeah, so Perryman probably unlikely to follow that pathway. Hopefully, he doesn't follow that pathway. But I don't know the way Collingwood play, their mids, apart from Nick Dacos, just don't get lots of Supercoach points.
Yep. So
for me, if you had to pick 2, I'd say Mills and SDK. But even then, I don't like SDK at all because I can't trust Chris Scott.
I would pick Mills and Humphreys.
Yes, Humphreys is probably better. Correct.
Humphreys is a better pick than Perryman.
Oh, there you go. Bello agrees.
Yeah, there you go.
Initiator. Set it go. Perry goat.
Perry goat. Oh, Joe.
Perry goat. I love that. That's pretty funny. Well, DeGoey will take half the year to get going, and that is if he doesn't get injured again. So Perryman could be the winner. He could be the winner. But what did DeGoey score? Jordan DeGoey. What does Jordan DeGoey score? Jordan DeGoey is an X Factor player who hits the scoreboard. And he averages, 2023 was a good year. He averaged 96. Jordan DeGoey.
Yeah. I don't think they play the same role though. Jordan DeGoey seems to play a lot of forward and will kick goals and do those kind of things. I don't think that's correct. What Perryman does.
He could play. So if he's going to play the Tom Mitchell role,
I see Perryman a little bit like a Peatling, where both are fairly defensive mids and probably score 80s.
Look at Collingwood CBAs. He could end up he's probably playing the Tom Mitchell role. He's not going to be ahead of Dacos. Does Pendles get 65% CBAs this year? Or does he start to get less? Surely he gets less. He's too slow.
You would think he slows down a tiny bit, right?
Yes.
Like they have to play at some point.
Yeah. I think Mitchell is gone. I think Mitchell is washed. What was Mitchell's CBAs the previous year in 2023? Mitchell attended 57% CBAs. So he was the third mid. All right. What did Tom Mitchell score in this year? In 2023, when he was the third midfielder, what did Tom Mitchell score? Tom Mitchell scored, if it loads, 2023, 97.
Mm-hmm.
He scored 97.
If Perryman scores a 97, you're keeping him for the year, I think.
No, you're not.
You think over for 400, like in the defensive line, 97 is not good enough for these 6?
Nah. Okay. Nah, it's not good enough. I think if we go back to the defenders last year and we look at the top 6 defenders, D6 was 110. You're giving up 13 points a game just in that one slot. 13 points a game. And this is Titch being the clear number 3. Now, when DeGoey comes back, I don't know. For me, I don't think he scores enough in his defensive midfielder role just to go 105. Because that's what you want. You want Perryman to go 105.
Yep.
And I think if he goes less than 105, I don't think you're making the full use of your money. and you're not getting the best return on your investment because he's not going to make you 100K and he's not going to be a keeper. He's going to float around that price. So for me, I'm not a big Perryman fan personally. I could be wrong, but for me, he'll be given tagging roles as well, I'm sure, because Collingwood don't have a defensive-minded midfielder. I won't be surprised if he gets given tasks to cool someone down. For me, I'm not a big fan of Perryman personally. But don't let my opinion sway you off the pick. For me, I just don't like him. I'm biased. He plays for Collingwood. I don't like him.
This is the
I'm kidding. You know I'm kidding, Maltesing. I love you. But yeah, this is my genuine Supercoach opinion. I'm not the biggest fan of Perryman.
Yeah.
If you like Perryman, just pick him, but I agree with. Thanks, Cheese. Really appreciate it.
There you go, Cheese.
2 foot hoagie yum. 2 foot hoagie yum. Try saying that very quickly multiple times. Perryman will be a stepping stone. I agree.
Yeah, I think Joe's right. I think Humphries is a better pick. I think there's enough around 500K players now that the only reason why you're picking at Perryman is because you think, hey, I can't afford the big boys. And if you can't afford the big boys, then it might hurt too much.
Yeah. He could do 94 when he had. I
think that's what people are hoping. People are hoping he scores close to 100. But what does that make him? 500K. So potentially him plus a rookie equals a primo or someone who's dropped down in price. Like I can see a Whitfield having a bad couple of games and dropping down in price, and they could be close plus 50-ish K. But sorry, probably not much more than that.
I mean, it's like what the Squadfather was right to reference John West. It's the ones that you pick. It's the ones that you return. That makes him the best. You can pick every mid-pricer under the sun. There are mid-pricer options literally every single year. Literally every year, there are mid-pricers, there are rookies, and there are primos. There is always the allure of going mid-price mad. And that's why the strategy is called mid-price madness, because you just get all of these mid-prices into your team and fill them up and not have any of those rookies on the field. And there's obviously the guns and rookie strategy. So there's a couple of different ways you can go. I think the general consensus this year is that more people will be doing the middle ground in terms of having some big guns, but also splashing in some of the mid prices in there as well. So you got to pick the best ones. The best mid prices can certainly go a long way for you, but not all of them are equal, and not all of them are equally as going to give you returns of either being keepers or making you 100K. For me, I think that should be, in my opinion, those two are the primary reasons why you pick a player. They're either going to score you enough points and end up being a keeper, or they make you sufficient cash quickly enough to then be able to use them for upgrades purposes. I don't think Perryman is either of those things. So that's why I'm not picking him. Oh, good, Joe. The more Pies haters, the better. It makes winning so much like that. Well played. Well played, Maltesing. I love it. Yes, Steve. It's what John West rejects that makes John West the best. 100%. That's the one. It's the Max Gorns that Joe rejects that makes him the best.
There you go.
You will never let me live that down, Jonas. You will never let me forget that one, and you are correct. That is right of you to do so. Well played. Hey, Woody! TDK is back. Yes, Woody. Good to see you. Ben Mologusis, Harry Mackay has to be backup ruck to Tom DeConnick.
Potentially. I'm just reading some Twitter chats at the moment, and they're saying, Carlton might be trying to rush back Curnow as quick as they can, which may affect the situation a little bit. But if there's no pit net, I think Harry Mackay has to. And I think we saw a little bit of that last year too. That was why a few people wanted to pick him over Kuno to start the season. It's like, oh, I think we were a bit of advocates for that as well, Joe, but obviously it didn't work out that well.
Yeah, exactly. How was our bloody good? Oh, mate, Hugo was unreal, Woody. You were talking him up. You told us about him.
He's worth it, man. He's worth it.
It was so good. I had him in my team, and then bang, the game comes along, and holy crap, now everyone with eyes is on Hugo Garcia. So that is awesome. Go. Awesome to see. If you haven't got Hugo, get him in. The preseason reports were correct. He got a lot of on-ball time.
Yeah, I think he's just better than all the 200K rookie players, to be honest. Like 240K. Yeah, we'll see. I think it's Caleb Daniel, and I think it's him.
Yeah. Yes, Mark.
What's up, Mark? There you go. Thank you very much, mate.
You got the season guide. Did you see DR is giving it for 25% off? Mate, DR can do that. You know why DR can do that? Because it's literally his channel who made the thing. So
He's shifty. That's why he wants to win the prize.
He undercut us. Don't be fooled by DR's incredible personality, and he's actually a scoundrel who will rip your legs out from under your feet, and he will undercut you. It's fine. It's all good. Don't worry about it. We love DR. It's all thing, and at least you got a discount. At least you got a discount. That's the most important thing. Thanks, Mark. Much appreciated. I did not know they were going to do 25% off. Can you believe that, Jez? 25%?
No, so it's only for DR. It's because DR doesn't want to lose. He's being showed up.
Boo, DR. Boo him, I say. Next time he gets a stream on, you gotta go on to DR's channel. No, Woody, don't do that. I was kidding. Someone clip this. DR, I love you very much. You're my favorite person on YouTube. I can't wait to see Candid Lions. Don't do that to me, mate. Don't do that. You guys are hilarious, honestly. Best community going around. Oh, you guys are hilarious. Oh, jeez, now I've lost where we were. Let me go scroll all the way back up. Jeez, we talk too much. We leave these comments way.
It's
a lot of fun.
We're gonna go through the we gotta go. Oh, we've done the teams for tomorrow. Hey, so there you go.
Yeah, it's only one. Yeah, there's only two. There's only two teams. There's only two teams. We did it at the same time.
Do we need to be careful, Joe? Looking at the Essendon team sheet, do we need to be worried that Sardis is named on the bench and not named on field?
No.
Because like a few people thought Pryor might not play. Is there someone there that will kick Pryor out of a spot? Or is he, like, Redmond's not playing, right? So if when Redmond comes back, Pryor's gone?
Nah, I think Redmond's likely to kick out Hayes.
Okay, so Pryor 160K. I mean, obviously he's got the early buy, but Pryor 160K could end up being a selection for us. Keep an eye out, fellas.
Yes. Correct. He could be. My only thing is if you're picking him and Zach Reed, then you've got no bench coverage in round 4. So
which kind of hurts.
And that kind of hurts, but can be covered if you don't have any Hawks players, which means you don't have Sicily on field, and there's no defensive Essendon premiums that you want back there anyway. So that's not a problem. But yeah, I think Redmond comes in for Hayes. I think Hayes, he's just good depth at this point. He's not ready to play at the level. Whereas Pryor, I think we've liked what we've seen from him in the preseason. He's been a very neat player. He's better defensively than who we've had there previously in the past. Like, Kelly is probably more of a lockdown, but he couldn't do anything with the ball in hand. Whereas Pryor, he's actually a neat kick and he's got a booming kick. So really happy with the Pryor selection there.
Yeah, no, fair enough. 160K, why not?
For sure.
He plays best 22. It offers some other people.
Yes.
To be honest, I didn't think that much of him. I thought Farrell was okay. I don't think he's taking out majority kickouts, which feels like where a lot of his scoring is going to come from. So watch and see, I think, for the next week's game.
Yeah, It's hard to trust.
It's a weird price.
Poor Adelaide are weird. They've got that succession plan going, and it's not too often that succession plans work. And you end up having this weird limbo period where it's like, who are we listening to? Are we listening to Hinkley or are we listening to Carr? And the way Port played last year, all of the defenders shared the points. All those halfbacks shared the points. And even though Houston was the main guy back there, when he didn't score so well, the others also didn't score well. So it was sort of similar to the rising tide raises all ships. It was a bit that way with Port Adelaide, and I can't see any. The Port Adelaide players just are not reliable. Outside of the midfielders, who you know who they are, that they're going to play there all the time, that they're guns, I don't really trust. I don't trust any other Port Adelaide players personally. Hey, Trav. Pryor averaged 95 in the VFL last year, Joe. I know.
There you go. Yep. And that's why
I've loved him. Correct. Like he's a good player. Pryor is a good player. Now, is he a great player? No. But he's a good player. Serviceable, too good for VFL, and probably should be playing AFL. But when he's playing for the Brisbane Lions, who end up being the reigning premiers, it's a really hard side to break into. And we see that all the time. How many great players have been poached from Richmond's VFL squad, for example, when they were doing when they had VFL. Or Brisbane's, yeah. So Jackson Pryor certainly has been very serviceable. And you look at his disposals, his kick to handball ratio is always glorious because you know where he's playing. He's playing in the back line. He can occasionally take kick-ins, and he will take some kick-ins if he's closer to the ball. Will he actually take them, though? I'm not going to be very confident because players like Mason Redman are, in the words of the Squadfather, they're greedy guts. He loves to get his kick-ins. So
they're ball hogs.
They are ball hogs, like the lizard. The lizard sees a kick-in, he even if the lizard is dead, he will revive himself in 3 minutes to run all the way to get the kick-in. So some players are like that. Pryor isn't, so don't expect monster scores from Pryor. But he can probably have a pretty decent floor and be used in some of the transitions. So one to keep an eye on. He could be a good bench option for sure. Lethal Leadham. Hey, lads, looking forward to another Monday Night Live. You betcha. Proper Supercoach data and some insight into lineups this week. Woohoo! Get around.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's one of the big things to track over this week. Maybe we'll do a video on it tomorrow or the next day. But one of the big things to track is just positioning and not so much who's named on field and named on the bench, because I think a lot of the teams are still figuring that out. But definitely who's playing where. And I watch those in the games as well, because it's going to help determine who's going to be fantastic for us in Supercoach, because there's so many question marks, Joe.
100%. Cheese was kind of high on English, but I'm not turning down solo Tom DeConnie.
Yeah. Before round one, Cheese, have a look and see what the comments are around Pitnet. Is he coming back? Is he not coming back? Is there any setbacks? That kind of thing. Because if we hear Pitnet's coming back, let's say round 2 or round 3, it might affect a few people picking him or not.
Sorry, I've just pulled up a tweet because I've noticed Initiator is telling me to check my notifications. Initiator, this is very funny. Check this.
There you go.
Initiator, I'm ready. I am ready. This is amazing. The off-center experience. Is this supposed to be like the Joe Rogan experience sort of thing?
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be.
The off-center experience, catch for the win. Look how happy you are, Big J. Look at this. You use my face all the time for so much of your crap. Finally, Initiator, I love you, bro. Initiator, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for getting back at Big J, using my face all the time. Hey, at least you're looking suave in this photo, though. You're looking pretty good, pretty sharp.
That's very true. No complaints. No complaints.
That is hilarious. On your Initiator. That is so good. That is absolute. This should be the thumbnail every single Monday. This is the off-center experience on Monday nights from now on.
Does that make you Jamie? That's just like, hey, Jamie, pull up the stats. Oh, man.
I just can't. That's too good. Oh, this is amazing. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Get around it. Big J looks like someone just told him LDU chose not to resign. That's actually right. That's actually right. New screensaver. You betcha, Johnny boy. You betcha. I'm going to wake up every morning with my alarm going off. And I just pull up my phone and I just see this face. It's like,
on your phone. Yep. Done.
Time to go. Time to go to work. I love it. That's really good. Oh, join your league. Oh, thanks, Lemony. Good to see you, mate. Thanks for coming on. All right, now I got to scroll back all the way because I just had too much fun with this one. That's amazing. Initiator, thank you so much. If you haven't followed Initiator, I want to retweet this, but I'm thinking of what I'm going to say. I'm going to think about what I'm going to say. I might have scrolled up too much.
Let me see if I can find. I'll see if I can find where we're up to.
That was too good. Joe, check your DMs. Let's go. Right. There we are. Maltesing. Issue with Gorn is that there has been chat that he will be rested more throughout the year, and McDonald looks like he will be backup and used during games. Love to have him, but not much value.
Yeah, and that's the only issue. And I need to see a lot more from. I wish Melbourne had round 0 because then at least we'd see kind of what the situation was. But I'm hoping that that's not the case. That Max Gorn just can't keep doing it forever. That's really my only issue with Max Gorn. So praying, but we saw a little bit, I think, Joe, towards the end of last year where he did slow down. So maybe they're saying, hey, look, carry us through the next little while. I think at the very least, Aiden Johnson's going to play, and then he'll end up going maybe not 1-for-1 with Max Gorn, but he might help out a little bit. So we'll see. Kind of one to track over the next couple of games.
Yeah, well, he's come out and said that he's fitter than ever. Of course, he's going to say that. What's he going to say? I'm getting older and I'm losing a pace.
I'm old and fat, and Melbourne's on their deathbed. Better not select me in Supercoach. Like,
he's obviously not going to say that, but yeah. Look, Gorn, yeah, you're right. He presents no value. But what he does have, I suppose,
he's 650k. He's 650k. Like, what kind of value do you want from the player?
At 33 years old. But you just look at his start to the season. Geelong. Yeah, I'm gonna count on regression. I am gonna count on old man regression. That's it. He's old. You're older than him, Big J, but he's old. Okay, he's just old. So he's going. He's gone. Jonas, Rivers, all the Johnny come latelys are on board now. Yeah, look, Rivers. We'll see, Jonas. We'll see about Rivers. We'll see. We'll see. I'm sad we won't get Strawn's yearly 2 games. Yeah, so we're gonna miss that. Michael saying, I assume you're on the direct flight into Bustleton to watch the Roos this Saturday.
Mate, if it wasn't birthday weekend, we'll see what happens. That's all I'm going to say.
Fair enough. Aussie Broad, think I'm going to fade Mills, guys. Too many injury concerns and good bodies going through that midfield. I like Perryman instead at the moment.
Yep. Well, we'll see. We'll see with Perryman. We've kind of gone over the risk versus reward.
Yes.
And if you think he's going to be a keeper, then pick him. If not, it's not the best, but would end up working out.
Birthday for tomorrow.
Thanks,
and Charles as well.
Thanks, Charles.
Jagger was the easiest to replace. Well, it was pretty expensive, so it's true.
Yeah.
We added Will White as SSP for
Yeah, I saw
Jagger.
that.
Will White. That's the whitest last name I've ever seen. Unbelievable. Jagger for Nod. Fair enough. Multiple Tom Browns all play with each. Melba Ajay Cully, correct. That's right.
Yep.
Paul Maniz Wakefield got injury as well, so Jai Cully can get in. So, Joe, does that mean Draper makes it into your team? No. No. Sam Draper is not getting into my team. All right? It's no. No. Benez on a calf. Yes, that's right. Tatum, agreed. Still in the corner crying about the Jagger news. Yeah, it's rough. Your midfield is back to one-dimensional again and one speed, but you'll be all right.
Makes it tough
You'll
for the
be
fans,
okay.
man.
Yeah. You'll be right. You'll be fine. Matt Crouch and the team will never get a good gig with all these ADL Adelaide mids in our teams. Yeah, you'd think so. You would think so. Go Hugo Garcia over Peatling and save the cash. I agree, Ben. I agree wholeheartedly. That is a fair shot right there. Scott's Callum Mills with plantar fasciitis. Wait or drop? I reckon we wait. If he's named, he plays. If he's not named, then we drop him.
Yeah, you got till round 1, so you don't need to worry.
Exactly. Scott, drop it like it's hard. Drop it like it's hard. Crows won't make finals with Crouch taking mid-time from the kids there. He's too slow, can't kick, etc. Holds them back overall.
I've said that. I heard that on the radio today and just kind of figuring out what's going to happen. Maybe it wasn't right. Maybe taking something away from George's video. Yeah, I think he's the one that needs to go. It'll free them up a little bit more. But if he's fit, they'll keep him playing. So makes things a bit tough. He's too good to play VFL.
Yeah.
He's on the cusp of playing AFL. But I think they want him in that midfield if Laird's playing halfback and Dawson's playing wings. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I actually think that Crouch is actually a good player. And that him being in there, in the engine room, in the guts, extracting the ball and getting the handball out, I think is really important for Adelaide. I actually think Crouch should play there. But what I think they should also do, though, is put the onus on the players running past. The Dawsons, the Saligos, these guys to actually lift their game and present for him and actually work with him properly to make the most of his disposals. He's not going to be a game winner for you. He's that in and under grinding player to feed the ball out. It's the players on the outside who have hurt the Crows time and time again, and their lack of cohesion inside forward 50. I think Crouch will continue to get game time. I do. I think Crouch will continue to get the game time that he needs, but they need to have better delivery inside forward 50. And that's part of the reason why they're introducing the likes of Rankin in there as well, who's definitely more of an outside type player to receive the ball from the guts and actually do something with it. That's why I think Dawson is going to have more midfield time this year as well, because he's known for having a very penetrating kick, and he's normally he's one of the best players in the comp. So I think Crouch will continue to get game time in there, and it's just a question of who's going to rise up with him on the outside and deliver inside forward 50. Hey, Yaron!
What's up, Yaron? Thank you very much, mate. Have an awesome B-Day weekend, champ. Yeah. Thank you very, very much. Feeling all the love today, Joe.
Yeah, as you should. As you should. Birthdays only come once a year normally, so well done.
Yeah,
well
that's
done.
true too.
Michael Higginson seems like defensive rookies are a bit scarce or will be slow burns. Should we consider strengthening our defense and have the faster burn rookies on other lines? Well, Michael, you wouldn't believe it. My last team review did just that. I only had one rookie on the field. So we sort of, I think Jez as well, also had only the one rookie in the back line. Like, we've sort of been identifying it for a while now, that the backline rookies might not be fieldable, and at best you might want to only field one. So yes,
or none.
absolutely, or none.
I've seen some nuns. I've seen some Jacob Blights. I've seen some Mills at D6.
Nuns and priests, mate.
Yeah, nuns and priests. There we go. But we've been talking about it all preseason, Michael. Just saying the other positions, especially kind of from December onwards. You know, you've got a few midfielders, obviously, but then the forward line started coming into it. And I think, yeah, stack the back line. There's a lot of players who are definitely around their price. Maybe not as many value options as what we've seen in previous years. Last year was a huge jump for defenders. So I'm thinking like more guys scoring 100 plus, scoring 105, 110, which is obviously reflective of their price now. But yeah, stack the back line as much as you can, because you can make it up with cheap players, other spots that are going to make decent enough cash. And in our forward lines, like all the selectable players are 390k, barring like a Horn Francis and potentially a Rankin. So you can kind of go cheap there and then go more expensive in the back line. And it doesn't hurt you as much.
I don't know what it is with Jack Steele, but he always ends up in my team. Currently have him in, which makes it 4. Yeah, look, I had a look at him as well, and he looked really good on the weekend. You can't doubt this guy. He is a very handsome man, and he's very good at football, and he's very good at Supercoach when he's fit and healthy. Okay, he hasn't been fit and healthy for some time. He's been struggling with his body, but when he is fit and healthy, this guy is capable of doing 120 plus. He appears to be back to the Jack Steele that we know and love. He looked great on the weekend. In his partnership with McRae was a sight to behold. And he was by far and away, he was up there. Number 1 mid. This guy lives in the center bounces. And if we're looking at him, if you look at just last year, now last year you might think was a bit of a down year. What did he do last year? 108. That's not good. Why are we paying up for 108? Well, if you look at the games where he had 80+% CBAs, because that's what he is. He is a bulk CBA guy, over 80%. 80% and above CBAs. What did he average last year? Let's see. Last year, when he had 80% or above CBAs, he averaged 110.8. That's 111. That, my friends, is a keeper. With the best buy going around, sharing it only with
him. Joe, don't suck me in.
Or I'm just simply saying facts, all right? I'm just simply giving you facts. He's a high CBA guy. You know the role he's going to play. He looks fit. He's got McRae helping him out. He's got the best buy in the business, sharing it with Fremantle. And last year, in what was considered a disappointing year by many, in the games where he had 80+% CBAs, he averaged 110.8. For me, I like that. That to me says that this guy might actually present value. So, look, for me, I can completely understand why you have Jack Steele in your team, Legend. He may or may not be in my team as well. Only time will tell. But yes, Jack Steele, he's hurt people before in the past. And that's part of the issue. And that's part of the issue with him. Same thing with English for me. Fucking English and Rowan Marshall, right? You guys know, right? You don't have to relive last year to know that I had a very tough time with both Rowan Marshall and Tim English, but I am willing to forgive one of them and have them in my team this year. We'll see. We'll see. But you're not crazy, Legend, for thinking of Jack Steele. You're not.
Yeah.
This week's games are a much better indication. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. I wish clubs were like actually running with proper best 23 instead of like 23 plus 5 guys on the bench. So I understand, like they got to go to 27, cool. But it makes it a little bit tougher for us to select them in Supercoach as well.
Yes.
Like you just don't know.
You just don't know. No. I had something go last year thinking I was a year early. It happens a lot, doesn't it? You pick a player for a breakout and it just happens 1 year. I mean, we picked Nazaya, right? It seems 1 year too early for Naz.
Yep. Yeah, we'll see what happens. It could be a very selectable pick. But I do think it's going to be a situation with him and like what happens mid-time that's That's going to dictate a lot. So
yeah, of course. Scott Boyd says he's gone both Hugo and Peatling. Hugo as flexi.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? I like Hugo. Hugo and flex is good because, and that's what I was thinking. Like I was initially so gung ho about having the primo ruck in at the flex position, but I ended up just looking for a TPP player because you end up covering 2 lines in the flex, and you might even use it as an extra slot to get, because we saw how many great midfield rookies there are. You can't fit them all, but all of a sudden, because you got the flex, hey, you can just chuck in that extra great midfield rookie that you didn't have before, that you normally wouldn't be able to fit. So Hugo certainly in the flex, it works. It works for sure.
Yeah.
Chera is a lock.
Yeah, I want to see a bit more from him in the next week's game because he definitely did some good things. Don't get me wrong, but he definitely disappeared for a little while there too. So I want to see more from him. Once we do that, then here we go because I think Carlton's got a pretty favourable run.
They do. If we go to the season long, he's going to play as an inside mid, no doubt about that. We scroll down, look at Carlton, got the biopsy. Richmond, right off the bat. Hawthorn, Doggies, Collingwood, West Coast, North, Geelong, Adelaide, St Kilda.
Makes Cripps a decent pick if you're ballsy enough to pick him.
Yeah, so look, I do like Chera. I do think Chera at that price point, he offers value in that, unlike the others, he has gone 105 plus before. And in this role, he's gone to Qatar. Hopefully his body is right now and he can play for a lot, but he does have a favorable start to the year, which would hopefully see him make money pretty quickly, even in the event that he doesn't last the whole year, because that's been his problem. His body letting him down year upon year. That's been his biggest problem. But starting him, you always start the risk. You don't trade the risk in. If you haven't got Chera come the start of the season, don't trade him in, because if he does get injured, you've burnt an extra trade than others who started him. So I'm looking to start him, I think. And if it doesn't work because he gets injured early, then there's a bunch of other mid prices that you could go to from him that do end up popping off. So it could be, you can almost consider it a corrective trade, like a rookie correction almost. So
just don't go Chera to Ashcroft because that might be the same problem.
Exactly. Maltesing, as a back rookie, Richmond's style of play may suit Caleb Smith, chipping ball around, going nowhere, but in their backline.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see if he actually gets named because I know there's been some considerations at the moment that he might not. So he's definitely still competing with a few other people. Yeah, we'll wait and see for that.
Look, at the same time as you say that, Maltesing, that to me also potentially screams maybe Jaden Shaw could be an option, and that frightens me because I don't like Jaden Shaw as a selection option normally, but his job security is assured. He's certainly going to be playing, and if he's playing that half back role that the pre-season reports are suggesting, and the ball's just being chipped around, not doing anything, that just could be perfect Jaden Shaw gulling, and it would really suck if we didn't have him and he's putting up premium numbers. You know what I mean? So after seeing the way Richmond played, I want to see it again. There's no way they take that style of football into the season, because that's almost not football the way they played. That's all. It's rare to be going in with almost zero intention of trying to win. Now, I don't think that's the way they're going to go into the season. If they play like that going into the season, you got to ring the alarm bells and check the tanking allegations there, I reckon. Because that's not football. I'm sorry. That was terrible. I have gone Bont, Nick Dacos, Brayshaw, Rowell, Clary, Chera, Sardis, and Langford in my mids at the moment. Gone Nicky D.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Obviously, Raoul's definitely a bit of a pod pick there. Nick Dacos, okay, as long as you don't have too many people with the same buy. I think it's going to end up a little bit like last year, and there's a bit of a prediction on me, but I think it's going to be a little bit like last year where Nick Dacos goes big, especially round 0, goes big round 1, and then it's like, hey, everyone starts scrambling to try and get him into their team. So, yeah, it might just be for getting early buys and sideways trading a couple of players. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. You've obviously gone pretty deep. So what is that? 6 primos? Yeah, so 6. So I don't mind it.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Sorry, as I'm just creating a tipping competition as we go. Hasty, look the goods. Hopefully can stay in the team when Sinclair is in. That's the problem. That's the problem. Does he stay?
One to watch. One to watch probably next week and heading into round 1. Does Nevitt go back out once Mana is back? No, I don't think so. Nevitt is playing almost pure mid. Mana obviously is a bit of a forward type. And they've talked a lot about Nevitt wanting to play. I think Nevitt's going to be this year's Dempsey from last year, where he scores quite well. There's up and down games, but we'll see what happens. All great with Geelong playing tomorrow night at GMHBA. Hamburger shop should be open. There you go. Might hang out and stir a few cat supporters. Mana will only come in to cover an injury. Okay, there you go. Shorty Supercoach said Nevitt is a great VFL player. Won't get a regular game with Scott. Look elsewhere. Potentially, but this is why we're talking about preseason knowledge and whatnot. Everything has talked about Nevitt being a good selection this year. He's not just like a random player that's come in and then that's it. Everybody's talked about it. Geelong training reports for everything. Oh, he's framing for round 1 since like December. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe Shorty's on the knock with here. Maybe he is. We'll wait and see. At least we get round 0 to kind of have a bit of a look at him. Velo liked Raoul's game the other night. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It's going to be interesting what happens with Raoul. Couple of good players up for trade at the end of the year. So I heard one Kano George. Not Kano. Joe? I heard from Kano today. Would you trade SDK to Gold Coast for Matt Rowell?
SDK.
That trade? Apparently, Gold Coast are into SDK. Yeah. Would you do that trade? Would you go SDK for Matt Rowell?
Well, who's winning that?
Why that's the whole point.
Why do the Suns want SDK? Why do the Suns want SDK?
I don't know. I think the Suns just want good players. They're desperate, and they've got even if they don't trade Matt Rowell, I think they've got 3 first rounders, and they don't care about picks because they just got plenty of academy guys. So yeah, I think they're just looking to finally try and go up the ladder, and don't know if the likes of Collins are the ones to do it. To be honest,
yeah, I think Geelong would say yes without a shadow of a doubt, but I don't think Gold Coast would accept because, I don't think Gold Coast need an SDK. SDK is a nice player, but if you're going to do that trade, it's not equal because one side absolutely is winning that trade, and that is Geelong because we know Rowell is just an in and under beast, and he could be that extra piece that gets Geelong another flag and could just end up making a dynasty team with this guy spearheading in that midfield, whereas SDK will just simply be another role player for the Suns. So I think there's no way the Suns in their right mind should be accepting that trade. If they're going to do that trade, they absolutely have to chuck in draft picks for sure, in my opinion.
Okay.
I'm not
So draft picks are going the other way. So Geelong's giving up draft picks for Matt Rowell plus SDK.
Yes, I think so. I think Gold Coast would certainly be getting fleeced if it's just a straight swap. Not that I'm trying to undersell SDK. I'm not trying to. He's way better than I'll ever be. Who am I? Just sitting here in front of my computer, talking smack. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. And if it appears that way, I apologize. But we're strictly talking comparing two different players, and I just think that the value that a Matt Rowell gives to Geelong outweighs the value that SDK gives to Gold Coast. And as a result, there needs to be something going the other way from Geelong to Gold Coast to sweeten the deal for me. That's my opinion.
Fair enough.
What do the guys think? What do people think?
I've still got both Peatling and H. Garcia, but that might change. Garcia definitely might, yeah. And the beautiful thing about Garcia is, chuck him in that midfield. The DPP is fantastic. And it'll be nice for us to have a 1 or 2 DPP midfielders as well, just in case you have to make some quick swaps throughout the season. Or, hey, look, Bailey Smith doesn't work out, but he's 450K. Trade him into a midfielder, and then you've still got a good selection there. Narkle got a game for Port. Worst player. There you go. Would rather Kako over Curtin. Stone is a lock on the forward bench. Cool. I think Elijah Hewitt's definitely there as well. Berry will be a slow burn. Yeah, I think so. I think unless they favourite him over someone like a Rioli, then potentially he goes okay. But we're not expecting hundreds from him. No chance. Bruin probably out for the year. Definitely, I think so as well. Tipping comp, fellas. Check it out while we've got 100+ people on. Yeah, go for it, Joe.
The comp code, I'll see if I can copy the URL to get there. Where is it? Can I copy? Where's the copy button? There's no copy button.
And it's on the official AFL page as well. So it's not like ESPN tipping or anything like that. Jump in, guys. Maybe we'll do a prize for the winner, the tipping comp this year. So yeah, keep an eye out, but should be a lot of fun anyway.
Yep, and the comp code, as you can see here, if I'll just scroll in, E624 MW9D. So if you want to have a little bit of fun tipping with us and the rest of the community, join us in the Centre Bounce tipping competition. It is the official AFL tipping. I will do my best this time to actually remember to put in my tips every week. I think at some point along the line, I just kept doing all of my tips on the ESPN one and completely neglected the AFL one. So I will do better this time and actually see it through to the end. But this is the code, ladies and gentlemen, E624 MW9D, if you want to join us for our tipping competition.
E624? What else?
Yes. E624 MW9D. MW9D.
Yes. Search done. I'm in, boys. I'm in.
So, he's in. Get around him. Get around him. Barry will be a slow burn, yeah, for sure. You already said that. Who has most to gain from Prestia injury, if anyone?
I don't know. I'm not a big Richmond fan. I think it's just going to be more time around the rookies, really. So if the rookies are fit, unfortunately, Laylor's out for a while. I'm not sure if Smiley's back. I don't think it really affects anyone like overly important.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily going to. I mean, what was his name? The one who came from Hopper, maybe, but Hopper was always going to get centre bounces.
Yeah,
so it's not
like Taranto's going to get more of the ball.
Exactly, or Taranto going to get anything more. So you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Anyone looking at Ty Gallup? Yeah, it's either him or Brandon Ryan, potentially, but it could be Ty Gallup.
Are we talking for a Danaher role? I thought Logan Morris. Is it Logan Morris?
Yes, key position.
Yeah. I think Logan Morris has kind of stolen that a little bit, but maybe Ty Gallup will take it. You know, we saw with Kama a couple of years ago coming in as a 99K rookie, formerly 102K, that they don't have to score much. So potentially, if he gets named round 0, named round 1, could be a decent cash cow. We only need him to make 150K, and he's paid for himself. So yeah.
I think Logan Morris is already playing in the grand final. I think Logan Morris, he looks like he's a jet, that kid.
Oh,
honestly. Yeah, he's a jet. Fake sharp. Imagine SDK and TDK is a set and forget ruck line of the future.
Potentially, we'll see.
It's not going to happen. SDK just does not have the ruck craft. I'm sorry. He is not as big, bullocking, dynamic as well as his brother. He's just not. TDK is the better ruck, and I can't see SDK getting to TDK's level in the ruck. If he continues to maintain his intercept marking defensive role, then maybe. But I'm not sure Geelong persists with SDK as a ruck for the foreseeable future permanently. Especially with, Tom Stewart's not young. Tom Stewart's getting older. Tom Stewart's going to retire soon. So, yes, Smith knee injury, Magnus. It's true. Yep. SDK was embarrassing in the ruck against the Hawks.
There you go.
Hi, Damo's in here. Damo.
What's up, Damo? How you doing, mate?
My favorite Freo man. I'm sorry, Mini Monk, but I love Damo too much. I love him and his beard. I love you, Damo. You're the best. Velo, pity buy, but if the only player with a round 2 buy in your team should be a bargain, yep. Damo, I get a nod. There you go. He's asking questions.
I've seen quite a few. He's definitely him or Sardis, depending on which one you don't have, could end up being the ticket. Just wait for next week's games, really. Yes. The Indigenous game, it was up in the air, man. Half the players didn't play. Obviously, some players played well against them, so waiting for more from him.
Yes. Hewitt played in West Coast second team. Are we concerned? A little.
This weekend at training?
Yes.
Because everything is said, hey, he's dominant. Sometimes you see a George Wardlaw who's named to play in the seconds just to even up the numbers. You can't have A's versus B's every time. Otherwise, what's the point? They need to make the games competitive. So that could be the same thing for them.
Yeah.
Exactly. Everything's been Hewitt is dominant.
Correct. Hewitt on ball, Hewitt playing, bulk CBA minutes. Yes, it's true. It's true. Hewitt is the Eagles' future. He will play, as Scott Boyd said. That's correct. What is Lewis Hayes' job security like? Yes. I think Lewis Hayes, I said, big fan of content. I think Lewis Hayes is the first one to go. Doesn't really intercept mark. He's just a solid depth lockdown defender type of thing. Redmond certainly comes back in, and I think Pryor stays, personally. Joe, is Shield a reality at halfback? Shield is a reality at halfback.
Can you pull up the thing?
Yeah, Shield is, I think, on the bench at the moment. Yeah, but he is.
So he's not named in the starting team at halfback.
No, that halfback role is 100% his. Unless something crazy happens, I don't know. But Dylan Shield has absolutely locked in that halfback role. He has played it almost exclusively in all of the intra clubs, and he's actually played really well in that role, pushing forward, running past in the midfield, hitting the scoreboard. He's playing almost, how Nick Day, he's not that halfback who just simply stays at halfback and does the cheapy kicks. He actually runs off halfback. So if you think of how Nick Dacos started, I'm not comparing, please. I am not
Nick Dacos.
I am not comparing them. Believe me. I'm just simply saying, remember how Sheasel and Nick Dacos started the competition off halfback, but would run off halfback and hit the scoreboard because they're just simply playing that free, aggressive halfback position type of player. That's the role that Shield is playing for us. That aggressive halfback running off, getting involved in the midfield and hitting the scoreboard. That role is his 100%. Nick Martin is out of there. Nick Martin is not playing halfback at all. That role now is Dylan Shield's role. And unless something crazy happens, that is Dylan Shield's role for the rest of the year. And I think Brad Scott likes what he sees there. There's been some senior leadership, some experience coming out of the back line and utilizing that pace to burn off halfback. Shield is going to be there, but I still don't think at that price point with the early buy that he warrants the selection, because he will ping a hammy by week 5, as Scott Boyd says. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but yeah, it's interesting. Too awkward price. Too awkward of a price. Velo is a crypto worth looking into. Is he now? Is Velo a cryptocurrency? I did not know that. Interesting. We'll look into that. The Saints Tin Man still in my side, turning from steel to gold. Hey, I like that, Gone Man. I like that. Tone, I'm sticking with Mills, but expect him to break down during the season.
Yeah, that's the tricky thing, isn't it? So if you've got Mills and you expect him not to be that great, is it worth starting him one? Generally, I don't like to pick players that I know I'm going to have to spend trades on straight away. Like Stepping Stone, okay, but you've got a thing in your mind, hey, every 5 weeks or so, Mills may break down. It's not great.
Yep. Smith to Bailey Humphrey, Mills to Perryman. I prefer Humphrey to Smith.
I'm not keen on Humphrey. I need to see a lot more.
I think I've seen more than Bailey than freaking Bailey Smith.
Oh, potentially, but Bailey Smith is so highly selected that it doesn't really matter.
I prefer Mills to Perryman. I prefer Mills over Perryman. Personally, he's worth less. He's not. He costs less, which therefore means that he needs to score less to make you the money. And Mills historically has gone 110. So to turn down a potential keeper at that price point, I think, you know what I mean? Like I prefer picking the guy that I trust a bit more.
Yeah.
Oh, J Bags.
What's up, G Bags? Thank you very much, mate. Hey, fellas, with Smith ruled out with an ACL, Jagger Smith, who are the other good Supercoach rookie mids apart from Ashcroft? I don't mind Color O'Sullivan. I think kind of an intercepting halfback, key defender type is not too bad. I don't think Geelong will put him against the big boys. So they'll have other people and then they'll have him as the third roving just because he's a newish type player. Sardis, Nod, we've spoken a little bit about. Draper is slowly making his way into progressions. One that no one ever talks about is my boy Finn O'Sullivan. So wait for, rounds next week's games and see kind of scoring wise how well he does.
Mitch Nevitt.
Or Nevitt as well. I mean, I was trying to pick out like 190k guys, but yeah, Nevitt definitely. Or 50k more, you can put in Garcia, and you won't be sorry. So yeah,
there's a few cheapy ones like Hasty potentially could be one that gets a gig if he stays, in the team. There's a few cheaper ones as well. If we can get the cheaper ones matching the more expensive ones, then that would be unreal. But you're paying up because normally the more expensive ones, more talented and likely to get games early and hopefully stay in the team. But we might get some cheapies like Hasty, for example, or maybe a Hall who has DPP from St Kilda. St Kilda really show that they've got quite a few exciting rookie price players in their team, which is really exciting to see. But
lots of
do they stay in the team? That's the question.
Yeah.
I used Mills' money to go Smith to Rankin. And who did you get in Mills' spot, Lumineer?
Maybe just downgrade it to O'Sullivan, get some money.
Potentially.
That all right. Yeah.
News of Mills' plantar fasciitis. I am seriously considering fading him for Perriman. Not sure he'll get sufficient mid-minutes now.
Yeah.
Possible, but if he's healthy and he plays, then I think you pick him. And then if he doesn't work out, then you trade him out.
Yeah, I don't mind the Mills pick. It's just you just got to be careful. You just got to watch out. That's all.
Confell, good to see you, mate. What are your boys' thoughts on Wayne Miller?
Look, we've spoken a lot about risk today, and Miller is definitely there. So that's all I'm going to say. To be honest, pick him at your own risk a little bit.
Did he go to Qatar? Did he go to Qatar or did he go to Mars? This Wayne Miller needs all of the intervention for his body. He is almost Zach Reed-esque. Like, seriously, sticky tape. Made of sticky tape. Look, if he plays, I think he presents value at his price. For sure. If he plays, If he goes 70 every week, he will make you 100K by round 8. You know what I mean? Like, but does he reach round 8 is the question. There's been 1, 2, 3 seasons where 8 was his limit. So that's a question. So that's an issue there. So
Yep.
Look, if he dies early, then at least there are rookies that you can downgrade to. But if he makes it through, then it's obviously a risk. But it's a risk that I'm actually seriously considering.
Yeah, look, if I hear Wayne Miller has stubs his toe at training, the guy's out of my team. So, like, that's how much faith I have in the pick. I don't think it's going to hurt me. I think if you go a few other players, you're going to be okay. So, you can pick him if you want to, but that's a no from me.
If I hear a bird pooed on Wayne Miller's shoulder, I'm not picking him because he'll probably injure himself with the force of the little
slip over on the bird poo, and that's it.
Oh shit. Lucas, what are your thoughts on Team English R1? I have him there at the moment, Lucas. Jack Sharp Mills is such a risk of a rest or sub-vest in a blowout. Did not think about that. Possibly. If he's still managing that foot and plantar fasciitis is a pain in the butt, we'll see. But you might have a point, Chart. Tom DeConning, solo ruck at Essendon in 2026. Start 13-0 and still miss the finals. Hey, Jonas, making finals isn't our problem. Winning them is the problem most of the time. Like, we've made finals a few times, but winning is the problem there. Could we get every Reid this year? Zach Reid, Harley Reid, Murphy Reid,
Archer Reid,
Reedy.
It could happen.
And Archer Reid. All seems possible. It's possible. I mean, you got a defender there, a midfielder.
They're all from different teams too.
A ruck, and another ruck forward. It's possible we could have all of them.
And none of them will be brothers. And still they'll say Miller Bergman and Miles Bergman are brothers.
Hey, g'day, Globes. Good to see you, mate.
What's up, Globe?
Charles, what are your thoughts on Laird with the new role? I don't like him. I don't like him personally. I haven't even seriously considered him, to be honest. Charles, I don't think he's particularly Supercoach relevant this year. But I might be wrong. Couple of player versus player for yous. Brayshaw versus Sarong. I've got Brayshaw over Sarong because Sarong, I think, he's just going to cop the tags early. And the way the preseason is going, is really putting his hands up saying, please tag me. So I think Brayshaw. Anderson versus Rowell. I'm going to go tough because they're both pretty unreliable. Anderson probably because he's been elevated to captain, which hopefully raises his floor in the away games. Dunkley versus Lockie Neal. I think I'd go Lockie Neal because Dunkley, as the defensive-minded player, just will not have the ceiling that Lockie Neal as the offensive player will have. So I'm going Brayshaw, Anderson, Lockie Neal.
Yeah, I don't mind Sarong. I think a new type of forward role is going to be interesting. I think he's going to cop the tag a little bit more than a Brayshaw. But maybe they're kind of compensating with that and said, if you tag him, we'll just put him forward. So potentially that's the way to go. I do like the 30K difference, though, between the two. Anderson versus Rowell, probably not going to pick either of them. I think Anderson is too flaky, and Rowell just gets injured. So can I say neither for those two players? If I have to pick one, probably Rowell. Dunkley versus Neal, going Lockie Neal. The guy's a beast. Dunkley's great, but I think I think Dunkley's too not selfish, if that's a word. And Lockie Neal will just dominate. Yeah, he's too selfless. That Dunkley will be like, cool. Fagan will come to him and say, mate, we need you to tag this player today. Okay, cool, no worries. And I think he'll do that versus Lockie Neal, which is like, give me the ball, coach. I'll win you the game.
I searched up Google, 2 not selfish.
2 not selfish. What did it come up?
Because that's what you said. He is 2 not selfish.
He's 2 not selfish.
It's true. It's true. He's 2 not selfish.
He's 2 not selfish.
Hey boys, my 6 defenders on field at the moment: Shees, Nas, Sis, SDK, Travalia, and Bo Allen. I'm a bit unsure on it. Your thoughts?
I don't mind it, but I think you need to go one more deep. Get another primo in there.
Look, Toby only played the 1 quarter on the weekend against. Now he did look good in that 1 quarter, but I think that should tell you where the pecking order lies with the Saints, and I don't think he's too high up on that ladder because he only played the last quarter. And normally in the last quarter of his pracky games, those are the outer players trying to show what they've got. So for me, you can't trust Toby. If you're gonna have another rookie on there because you like having that structure, then probably Connor O'Sullivan might be the other one that you put there in that spot and free up some money.
Probably pick one in the back line. Don't go double rookie in there.
1 week, Lawyer Joe. I would have given it a week. I would, because he gave up on the play. He gave up on the ball.
He pushed him. The guy. He knew that the guy was going for a mark. He was in the air. He should get the week just for the dangerous play. Like, we don't tackle players in mid-flight in the air. We don't sit underneath players and let them bang our legs and then that's it. Like, that's how it works, you know? So, yeah.
Just saw this. Wait, no. Before you do that, I've only just seen the private chat of what you freaking sent me. I swear to God. I have never had anyone in my life take the piss out of me as much as you have in these few things. Honestly,
it goes both ways.
Check this. Corporate needs to define the difference between this picture. There is no difference. Dylan Shield is Nick Dacos.
How good is that? Oh,
oh my God, this is unbelievable. Oh, that's so good. Bro, I literally said that he's not, but this is too good. That's too good. Oh my God. Someone else. I'm not good at this creative comedy bullcrap. I only rely on my wit, okay? But that's elite. Oh my God, that is gold. It is absolute gold. That is the best. Send that to me, Big J, please, mate. Just take a screenshot. Why do you need to be sent this cheese? Just take a screenshot, mate. Oh, this is hilarious. This is so good. Gee whiz. Well played. Well played. I love it. Did someone say KFC? Right. Where are we up to? Where are the comments? Where are we up to?
Aussie abroad. Sorry. Yep.
Aussie abroad. I reckon I might fade Mills and lean towards Perryman. Another. So many players going through Sydney midfield. Rowbottom, Chad, Heaney, Errol, Sheldrick, maybe even Adams. Chad's gone to Freo. So don't worry about him.
Yeah, don't worry about him too much.
Errol being more midfield. More wing. Sheldrick, I don't think is best 22. And Adams is never fit. So I wouldn't be concerned about too many people running through the midfield for the Swans.
I would say with Sydney, fade Mills because you think he's not going to be he's going to be injured and not playing. Don't fade him because you think that his position is going to be taken up too much. They've lost Parker. A few other players, probably aren't best 22. So definitely. I think if he plays, he'll play midfield. It's just actually playing, which is the problem.
We got MJ. I'll retweet that. Make that the Bombers banner for round 1. Oh my God. MJ, you are a funny bugger. Honestly, guys, if you haven't subbed to MJ at the coaches panel, what the hell are you doing? It is required viewership to watch the 50 most relevant players every single year. I'm glad you enjoyed that. That is hilarious. That is so funny. Yeah, honestly, that was top-notch banter right there. That was A1. A1. So many people love the Perryman. It's amazing.
Yeah, he's definitely flavor of the month at the moment, or flavor of the last 2 weeks. Getting bulk mid-time and whatnot in intra clubs and stuff. It's yeah, just to watch and see. That Gold Coast game was really, really awkward because it was a 3-way game. Like 3 ways, okay, whatever. We won't get into sexy talk here, but like half the team played first and then half the team came on later. So yeah, it's not great.
In a Photoshop of Chris Scott as Thanos, we are inevitable. That's not too bad. But yes, that meme is now the number 1 most relevant player. That is hilarious. Chad's gone to West Coast, boys. Coming down. Oh, CWT,
Yeah.
if you say so.
Wouldn't surprise me, man. They're going to offer him a crap ton of money. Like,
what about Harley Reid? Where's Harley Reid going to CWT?
They need, well, ideally he stays. I know that you want him gone, but ideally he stays. It's more just they need to put good players around Harley Reid as quick as they can. Hence throwing the bucket at Chad Warner. Like,
yeah, fair enough. John Hines again. I'm thinking of fading Mills, and who around 415k is the best Mills replacement.
Well, there's a certain L Humphreys, my favourite player. So yeah, wait till round 0. Right, we've got 2 more games. Got a game this week. We've got a game next week. Watch for kick-ins now that they've got the full team. I reckon we're going to see him take a bunch of Stewart's kick-ins, and then people are going to be like, "Oh, Humphreys 415k."
I thought you were going to say Perryman. I thought you were going to say Perryman. Honestly, if I took a shot for every time I said Perryman's name in this stream tonight, it'd be off. Give Short King Brad a sub, you bums. I don't know who Short King Brad is. Southern only named Emergency tomorrow night. Doesn't look good. Yeah, he's not best 22. He's not best 22.
That's okay. We get downgrade options once
correct.
Happens, so.
He's a downgrade target. I thought that report is that Ben Long got off charging Levi Ashcroft.
I'm not sure.
If worst comes to worst, if Peter comes back to share the ruck roll after a few weeks, we can jump on the Shrek train at that stage. Yeah, Shreky boy, come back in, mate.
Potentially.
Oh, look at this. Cheese. Thoughts on Mills to Perryman?
That's all I'll say.
Mate, can you make up a meme about the Mills and Perryman thing? Can you come up with something about Mills and Perryman? Is there a meme template out there that would be suitable for this? That's your job now. All right, that's your job. You're gonna have to come up with a meme about Mills and Perryman. Thanks, Chase. You did not have to do that, mate. You gotta come up with a meme about Mills and Perryman tonight. Honestly, it's ridiculous. $300 to spare, but no Cheezels or Bont. You can live with that. You can absolutely live with that. 2 foot hoagie yum. 2 foot hoagie yum. 2 foot hoagie yum. Don't worry about it. You can afford to not start them, but you have to remember that you will need both of them. And therefore, whatever number of buy round players you have for round 12, however number of players you have for round 12, add those 2 players because you're going to need them. You're not going to wait till round 13 to trade in Sheezels and Bont. You would have had half a season without them dropping 120s on your head, and that would be killer. So if you've got 4 round 12 buy players, consider yourself as having 6 because you're going to have Sheezel and Bont in your team before that point, hopefully. So
yeah,
that's how you should do your mathematics.
Otherwise, you're kind of cooked.
Yes, correct. Is it insane to fade Peatling asks Cartier lock? It is not.
No.
You believe that he's going to have a wing role, too much wing time, and not enough midfield time where he can get contested possessions and tackles, and you think he'll only average you 85 to 90, you can afford to fade him if you want. SDK not playing ruck would be very bad from a Supercoach perspective because O'Sullivan would go back out of the side also if SDK goes back.
True. Potentially. Potentially. If they like him, then I think they'll be okay, but it doesn't bode well, does it?
Supercoach score for? No, I don't think there were any Supercoach scores. It was all just fantasy. And
people because like getting stats is easy enough, right? Like it doesn't matter too much for getting stats wise. I think a few people converted disposal efficiency and whatnot into Supercoach, which is where some of the scores have come from. But
I wouldn't worry about him. His preseason has been flying, and there's no point over exerting himself in a practice game that means nothing. He's priming himself for the season. He's a professional. Jones deserves the best 22 spot. Look, he might, but having those goals on the scoreboard goes a long way. And if he's only kicking he's not kicking a lot of goals, Jones, every single week. But if Edwards is kicking 2 goals plus a week every game, give that kid a game, honestly, and leave him in there. Peter Wright has played his last game for Essendon. He might have. Depends on injury, of course. Aussie abroad. I'm not reading this comment. Oliver at least tackled a bit, but his acceleration off the mark is still nowhere where it used to be. That might be part of the reason why they're adding more speed on the ball in the midfield with both Langdon and Rivers coming in there. So that might be it. But as long as he gets contested possessions and tackles, and then that's fine. That's fine. At that price, you can't go wrong. Mid prices for sure. Zorko should be the premium from round 3. Possible.
Yeah, he might find himself the one. Might find himself the one that we need to pick.
Yeah, he's got the role. He's locked in with the role. He's got a great starting run. If you look at designated kickers, we know obviously that Kitty Coleman is not playing to start the season. And if we go to designated kickers, which he is, Geelong, Sydney, West Coast, Richmond, Bulldogs, Collingwood, he's got a wonderful run. Wonderful. By far and away, the best run for half-backers. So, yes, Zorko could be that guy. He will play even more forward this year when he returns. Yes, he probably will, but the midfield at Collingwood is all about fast slingshot play. They don't score a lot of points. The Collingwood midfield really spreads the love, and they don't dominate Supercoach point-wise in the midfield. So I can't see Perryman going over 100. I just can't. I agree with Jonas. I reckon he's more over. I reckon 90, 92. I see from him, and at that price, I think you can do better elsewhere. That's just me. Saligo, the pod of the year, fellas. Remember this on his Sarong Shizer.
Yeah, potentially. We'll see.
Potentially. Saligo, he looked really good. But so many people running through that midfield is the problem. Is Mitchell even going to... Nah. Mitchell's washed. Hold your ghost. I'm pretty much sticking to guns and rookies. Always get sucked into mid prices and then always end up trading my ass off. That's the thing. You can be a guns and rookies type of player, or you can be a mid-price madness type of player. The mid-price madness is not easy to do. You're always assessing and you're looking to trade, and you do burn through a lot of trades very quickly.
Mate, and you're always scared. You're always like, hey, does my player work? Does he not work? What do I need to be careful of? 1 bad weeks, 2 bad weeks. When do I jump off these mid prices is definitely a big thing too. And you have to be ahead of the curve in terms of upgrading a team. Because if you're not, you kind of.
Yeah, I mean, the guns and rookies is like driving a nice automatic transmission in your car. But mid-price madness is like you're driving the manual and you're really focusing. And if you do it right, and you drive it absolutely perfect, you get that perfect lap and you go super fast. But if you make a mistake here or there, you end up stalling and crashing and burning. So that's how I like to compare mid-price madness to guns and rookies. Guns and rookies, the car takes care of itself with changing the gears. Is Josh Dacos worth looking at after he gets DPP? Depends how he's scoring.
I assume you mean as a backman. By then, hopefully, we know what our team's going to be like. So maybe not.
I mean, you might have Houston already at that point, and Houston might be hogging the ball a lot at that point. You just don't know what the dynamic is going to be like. They still have Quaynor back there as well. We'll see. But yeah, Josh Dacos is a very good player. Interesting decision.
There's been a bit of talk about him.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Jordan Clark and Bailey Dale? I like Bailey Dale. He was in my team last time. And it's just, I think the preseason reports have him being the number one man back there. We know Caleb Daniel is gone. We know Ed Richards is moved into the midfield. We know Jason Johannesson is injured. He's sharing the load back there with a couple of role players. But Bailey Dale is the star back there. And in the preseason intra-clubs, he was taking all the kick-ins and following up. And each one of those is a +8 for his Supercoach scoring. So Bailey Dale, yeah, he just seems to be the man behind the ball. I like Bailey Dale a lot. Jordan Clark, you're sort of banking on progression, and they're going to continue to play a role that's favorable for him, but we just don't know how Fremantle are going to play. Are they going to go back to the style where they were winning games, going slow with Luke Ryan, or are they going to go really fast and have Jordan Clark run off half back? We just don't know the role exactly, the style of play. I prefer Bailey Dale. Sorry about that. Definitely good to manage expectations from output at this price. Yes, agreed. Max Holmes or Bailey Dale. Max Holmes has an early buy. Bailey Dale doesn't. Max Holmes plays for Chris Scott, but you know what his role will be on ball. Bailey Dale, he only has one role, and that's halfback. No one else is back there to play that role. Bailey Dale is slightly cheaper. Bailey Dale's probably less injury prone than Holmes as well.
Yeah, and the early buy too makes a bit of a difference.
So I think we're both on Dale.
Yeah, I like Dale. The thing that I have about Holmes as well is just disposal efficiency. Like, he went bananas in the preseason game. No dramas. He went bananas. But you just got to be careful, because he'll score 60, 70 in the first half and then just fall off. And I think that is the part that we just have to be careful of. I don't think he's going to lose his role. I think the team itself is just getting better, and cool. No worries. There might be a bit of improvement on that, but the disposal efficiency sucks. Like, it sucks so much. Be interesting to see with Humphreys and a few others back as well, what happens to his kickouts.
Yep. The other issue. Perryman's my D4. All right, fine. Good for you. The other issue is that many of these value players share horrible buys. Correct. Timmy and Roma firming every week as Timmy and Roma. Oh my god. That's this. Oh. G'day, Scorched Earth. Good to see ya.
What's up, mate? How you doing?
Hugo went from 1% to 6% after that one game.
There you go, man. And people are going to keep going after him too. So, yeah, we'll see.
Big J called it on Hugo Garcia a week plus ago. There you go. Do we think the Dogs didn't pick Brew or Crossley because they have full confidence in English?
I think the Dogs are a bit of nuffies sometimes, and I think sometimes they just don't realize. And I think that's probably the biggest thing for them. I think it was very, very silly that they didn't pick them. Yeah, that's about it, really.
Look, the fact that they didn't is just good news for English, and that's part of the reason why I have English now. English
They've
solo
got no one else.
Yeah, English solo ruck, declining solo ruck at this point. Like, it's bellissimo at this point. I'm really happy about that. Is Nazaya, Wanganeen, and Miller a viable D2 option with Perryman and D3? So stuck with this backline right now. Cheers, lads. Love the content.
Is Nazaya a viable pick? Yes. Take it to the bank.
Yes. Perryman, we've spoken ad nauseum about him. Jackson, thoughts on Jaden Short?
I need to see the role.
Yeah. I need to see the game style. If they're playing the same way they played against the Eagles, then Jaden Short is a lock. I'm sorry. That ridiculous bullcrap, uncompetitive, borderline not even football is just so degenerate. It's like watching a $450,000 version of Ryan, and I refuse to see that. So it depends on the game style. If they play the way they played against the Eagles, then yes, I'm getting Short in my day.
Yep.
Professional Supercoach yappers. That's what we do, Captain Flash. We yap away. We freaking yap away.
That's the fun part, man.
100%. Well, I hope you're enjoying the yapping. If you are enjoying the yapping, hit the like button, please, guys. Greatly help us with the outreach, get the content out there, increase the size of this wonderful community, some more banter, some more fun. My expense more than likely, but it's okay. It's okay. We have fun here. Not with Gresham named at center. No, Gresham is not in the center bounce. Don't you worry about that.
I mean, he is named, but yeah.
Yeah, he's not going to play center bounce.
No, probably not.
DR is giving 90% off with code DR Bendigo, dedicated to his garage sale robbery. It's pretty funny. Suck session plan. Correct. They suck. They just never work. Josh Sin. He's one of many. He's one of many back there, and they just share the role. I want to see it in an official capacity, but I just don't think he's the man back there at all. Guys, if you are a member,
his disposal efficiency is crap.
Yeah,
that's the thing. He got some of the ball, but yeah, it's a no.
Guys, for the members, we will be doing a members live stream tomorrow, same time, 7 p.m. as well. So won't be as long as this one, but we will have a member live stream, and we will be getting that community team going for you guys' input. We will, of course, we still have the center bounce comp. So if you haven't joined our tipping comp and you want to join the tipping comp, here it is. That's the code, ladies and gentlemen, for you to get in. Shout out to Lloyd and Lizard fighting over the kick-ins back in the day. Oh, that was hilarious.
There you go, man. There you go.
That is hilarious.
Pretty fun. Back when Jake Lloyd was an actual selection in Supercoach. Oh,
exactly. The seagull and the lizard. That's hilarious. Guys, this Thursday, a start or next week? Do we start the Thursday drive homes?
It's up to you, Joe. What do you reckon? It's not round one teams, is it? Like, how many teams are going to be out this week?
I mean, we could, but we could do it this week. We'll talk about it. We'll think about it. We'll stew on it.
Yeah. We'll
let us know if you want that or not. English and TDK. That's what I'm doing.
Round zero next week.
Melbourne aren't good enough to afford to rescue.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Hey, that is the problem.
I'm missing maths, but this screenshot made it worth it. There
you go.
Burks, are you seriously watching maths? Come on, man. Get around. Go. Oh, hold your ghost.
Thank you very much, Ghost, mate.
Thank you so much, mate. Welcome to this. Welcome to the coach's box. Yes, you will join us on our live stream tomorrow. We'll be doing it 7:00 tomorrow. Just remember 7:20 start tomorrow night. Yeah, so tomorrow. That's why tomorrow's going to be a short one. It might even start a bit early. It might even go 6:30, just because of the game starting at 7:20. So, regardless, you guys will know what time it starts tomorrow. We'll discuss it in greater detail. We'll keep it there. But thank you so much, Ghost. Really appreciate your support, mate.
Now,
You're an absolute
I have done maybe I'll change it up. No. I have done a Chris Scott. I am inevitable. You guys want to say it's a bit? It's not my bet. It's not Joe in the office, but it does all right. There you go.
I am inevitable. Mitch Nevitt, I am inevitable. We need Nevitt somewhere. Where are we going to put Nevitt?
I'll chuck Nevitt. Where am I going to put Nevitt?
Where are you going to put Nevitt, though?
I can put Nevitt in the background. We'll figure it out.
His face coming behind the clouds of glory.
Yeah, done. I'll find a Mitch Nevitt picture. Let's go.
That's pretty. Still going with no over 30s, Joe? That's a very good question.
No.
Do I have any over 30s in my team at this point in time? I don't think I do. I've got no players over 30 in my team at this point. So, yes, I am committing to my principles this year.
No over 30s, huh? Okay.
No over 30s. No over 30s. Nothing wrong with being old, Joe. You are getting into the ancient age group. Bro, I am. I actually am. I will be 30 this year. And I'm kind of terrified. I'm leaving my raging 20s behind, and that's another chapter of my life behind me.
Join the club there, Joe.
I'll be joining the club. I'll be joining the old group that I've been talking about so badly. Naughty Joe. You could have 3 Drapers this year. Three Drapers this year. Thrice the fun.
That's too many Drapers, man. I think that's too many.
Thrice the fun. Come on, just show the faith. No, I'm not going to show the faith. He can go. We've got opening round for Mills. Agreed. My plan is to run Nick Bryan until I can get Shrek eating a bye is no biggie. Nick Bryan. I love Bryza, and he will be our number 1 ruck. But the problem with Nick Bryan is that he will more than likely be subbed out at 3/4 time if we have no injuries. Because that's what we did last year quite a few times. Last year, towards the end of the season, we liked giving Nick Bryan a go because he was doing so well at VFL level. We thought, we need you to be playing, but when he played, he was subbed out. So he had 58% game time subbed out, 61% game time subbed out. He had the 73% against the Gold Coast Suns because I think we had an injury early on in the game, which meant that we could not sub him out. And then he played basically the full game against Brisbane at the Gabba. And I think that was because Draper didn't play that game. So with both of them playing, I can't see Bryan rucking out the full game. I think he will be subbed out at 3/4 time. Does he score enough in those first 3 quarters to get you up there? 60. He might give you 60. He might give you 70. Is that enough at that price point? If Draper was to go down injured or get suspended, then Nick Bryan, absolutely go for your life. But as long as Draper is healthy, you're rolling the dice. It's very risky. Garcia, been sitting in my flex for some time. Juicy. I have Oliver at M5. Consider making him day costs as I don't want to touch the others. Anderson and Day need to stay. Sure, you say so.
Who are we swapping, Joe?
I don't know who he's swapping. Sounds like he looks like he might be trying to swap Oliver to Dacos. I don't know. Tricky, I reckon hold on to Oliver. I reckon he's great value at that price.
I would be, if I had to trade someone, I would be more inclined to trade like a Will Day. I think Oliver's definitely a lot more proven than Will Day at that selection.
Yes.
Yes.
Since we're talking about Crouch, only 100 people own him in Supercoach, boys. Yeah. Crash is a gun. Yeah, I agree. There you go. See, Lumineer agrees with me about Crouch. I don't know, man. I can't see myself doing that. How much is Crouch? 568. Man, he's not that mid-pricer. He is not that mid-pricer that he was last year. That's too expensive for me. Sorry, I'm not picking him. Can you start with no Sheasels, Gorn, and Bond? You can.
Yes. You just need to make sure that the biggest thing with that is you need to make sure that you've got enough cash cows in your team to obviously get them as soon as you can, and have enough scoring in your team that it doesn't really hurt you by doing that, and then I think you'll be okay.
Who will average more, Parker or Peatling?
Interesting question.
I hope it's
Parker. I hope it's Parker. Otherwise, we're kind of cooked.
I'm going to say Peatling.
Yeah. I think it's 50-50.
I know, it's so close. This is definition of a coin flip. Let's do the bloody coin flip.
Yeah.
Get the coin out. Coin flip. Heads is for Parker. Bullshit! That freaking glitched. That was tails. Piss off, Google. I don't trust you anymore.
Google must be a North Melbourne fan.
Bro, Google's been paid off by DR to undercut me. Hey, Aiden. G'day, mate. I love that. I love that. That great song. Can't wait for you to send your next ones, boys. We look forward to it. It's an absolute pleasure.
Oh, I've redone the Chris Scott picture too.
Oh, yes, do it. Show us. I am inevitable. That is so good. This is a movie. This is a freaking movie trailer. This is Dune, but Geelong.
Better.
This is Dune, but better. I love it. That's so good. Well done. Problem with no defense rookies is the primos aren't that interesting either.
Yeah, and that's the problem. You're basically paying up for what you get, which in some respects is really good, but that's not what we look for in Supercoach, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, exactly. You reckon Holmes will be a top 6 defender?
I definitely think he'll be around 6 to 8 if he keeps up with what he's doing. I think he'll be around 6 to 8. I think you can start him at 530k and you'll probably keep him the whole year.
He'll be a top 6 defender if he plays the whole year, doesn't get injured.
Well, of course.
But injuries are a problem for him, I think. He's quite the injury prone player. His hammies always let him down for some reason. 9 games, 18 games, 21 games. Last year he played the 25, but obviously there was prelim. They made it to a prelim, so they had extra games. So, but yeah, if he can play a full season, he'll be really good. I think Steele will be a good pick. He'll get some niggle later in the season, but at least by that point.
And that's why you start him. You don't bring him in. If you think that's what's going to happen, you think there's the risk there, start him so you're not the guy that brings him in and then he has the 5 bad games in a row.
Exactly. Plenty of good cheap options, says Jonas. In the back line, I'm running Rivers D1, Mills D2, aiming for 4 straight years top 500 finish.
Nice. Bro, I don't know how you just have cheapy players, Jonas. Like, you must have everyone else who's cheap then, if that's the way you're going.
So where's the money being spent? If you're going cheap in the back line. Yeah. So if you're going cheap in the back line, where is the money being spent? Are you paying up for the top dogs in the midfield? Are you paying up for the top dogs in the ruck? You got Sherry Gorn? Are you paying up in the forward line, because if you're going cheap in the back line, it means the money has to go somewhere. You know what I mean? So interesting to see what your team looks like, Jonas, when we do our next round of rate your teams.
I think we will do next round of rate your teams, guys, probably next week sometime, or maybe even towards the end towards the end of this week. So definitely before round 0. So keep an eye out for that.
What rookies have the best job security in each position? I think Zach Reed, probably in the back line, is a lock-in as long as he stays fit and healthy. He plays every week. In the midfield, there's a few you could go. It seems like Brisbane are doing everything they can to fit in Levi Ashcroft, regardless of position. So they clearly rate him really highly, regardless of, is the role going to be the best? Look, probably not. But they really want to pump games into him by the sounds of things. So he seems to be assured there. In the ruck, I think we can see Reedy is guaranteed maybe a month of football before Darcy comes back. Otherwise, it could be Boyd from the Saints. And in the forward line, you've got someone like Stone, who we've been talking a lot about all preseason long. Someone like Davidson from the Bulldogs seems to have pretty good security, and Elijah Hewitt. So there's a few players in each of the lines there. 585 though could get cheaper for the average day homes. 585k, yeah.
If you can get like 10k more, it might even be worth having a look at a Zorko if you can keep fit. So just a bit of an idea.
I'll show you if Joe runs an alt channel, dub.eats.everything. Dub.eats.everything. Dub eats everything.
Oh yeah, I've seen this guy around. I mean, I haven't seen him around, but I've seen him.
It's an alter ego. It's a doppelganger. I have.
Mate, if you can eat everything, you're set. So.
Oh my! I've got a freaking doppelganger. Amazing. Very funny. Very funny. Gotta freaking fly through these. Yep. All right, catch you next week, Mark. Good to see you, mate.
See you, Mark.
Yes, we will be doing next week, Cap and Flash,
Yeah. After this weekend's game. So keep an eye out on Monday. We'll most likely do it on Wednesday. So we'll post something up next Monday. Just hard to do it, like, obviously, with right now. So,
yeah. 2-foot Hogie like Chera is the same concern with Day and injuries. Well, Day has an early buy as well.
Yeah.
Whereas Chera doesn't.
Yes. So, Yum, I'm going to call you Yum. Start the risk, don't bring the risk in. So if you want Day, start him. If you want Chera, start him. If they're both fit, ready to go round 0 or round 1, they both offer some pretty good value there. So, yeah.
Mitchell Brown, thank you very much, Mitchell, for your generosity. Thoughts on Luke Parker? Enough mid to be okay?
I think he's going to get a decent amount of mid time. It's more just I want to wait till this weekend's games to see kind of if he actually cares too much. That's probably the big thing for me. It seemed like he was definitely going quiet this weekend versus Melbourne, which is not something that I expected. He still did okay, but I really hope it's not just a case of the old guys kind of slowing down. So, yeah, watch and see.
Thoughts on Jacob Light from Richmond is a bit too expensive for my liking, Scott. If he was rookie priced, then potentially.
Yeah, I think last year was the best year to pick him up. I don't think he's going to be that player for us this year.
Why is Harley Reid not as good as Chera? I'd say Harley Reid is better than Chera as a player. And he will be at the Bombers next year. So I'm very excited about that. But as a Supercoach selection, I think the problem with him is that he's too hot-headed. He has had an injury-interrupted preseason, and he'll be playing for the Eagles, who are going to be, yet again, a bottom 4 side. So as opposed to Chera, who is a cog in a much better machine who will have a much more favorable run to start the season, and he has a history of scoring well. So I think Chera is a known commodity more, and you can bank on him starting probably better.
And I think he's just fitter too. Like he's had more years worth of experience, that kind of thing in the body. The tank, obviously being fit, is probably higher up too.
Joe's at West Coast next year, my man. Hey, Michael, a man can dream, okay? A man can dream. Leave me alone. You will be very well compensated, I promise you. Get me on the line. Get me on the
Many
line.
draft picks.
We'll give you all of the draft picks, mate. We
this
love
year and next year's draft picks.
Exactly. We'll give you lots
Zach
of
Reed as well. You can take Zach Reed.
3-year contract. I don't care. Contracts are made to be broken.
Nick Martin.
He's from no. What are you talking about, mate? Yeah, $17 million for Finn Callahan.
It's St Kilda's desperate, mate. That's the problem. They're trying to do as best as they can, and yeah, throwing the money at whoever they can throw money at. So that's just how it weeds out. Someone will take it. I don't think it will be LDU, and I think that's why they've kind of run around a few different things. But yeah, there's a lot of money there.
St Kilda with a blank check trying to sign any decent player. Yep. They will just throw money, but no one is coming to the Saints for some reason. No one wants to come.
And the trickier thing is, I'm not being kind of bitchy North Melbourne fan, but the tricky thing is that they won't get ridiculed as hard as North Melbourne have without being able to get a player. So yeah, we take it as we come.
Henry, is it looking like
both Henry
Show and Maker won't be starting?
Yep, which is okay. Show and Maker, obviously second-year player. I think he did debut towards the end of the season and did okay, but maybe it's just a fitness thing for them. And Toby's a first-year player, man. I think slowly, as some of these teams start to get a little bit better, we're not going to see as many first-year players straight out of the bank start going bang, bang, bang. So, yeah.
Wouldn't touch short with even Jones trades.
There you go.
Jay Whiz. What do we make of Sheldrick? Look decent, but sub-risk. I don't think he's best 23, unfortunately.
Yeah. Wait till see for round 0 and then go from there, really.
No one has left Sydney, and Mills back. He is sub.
Luke Parker left, so someone left.
Correct.
Yeah.
Harvey Langford looked decent. Yes, he does.
Yep. And Lindsay as well. Gorn came out this week and basically said Lindsay's locked down the wing spot. So you can take him to the bank at 150K, and then we'll see where Langford plays, really.
So you're just going to have to speed through this. It's been a long one. Is Powell worth looking into?
No, I think he's too expensive, but he'll end up potentially. But I do think he's too expensive.
Oh, good to see you, Woody. Thanks for coming on, man.
What's up, Woody? Thank you.
Has there been any player, us MJ, that's entered your team for the first time all preseason after last week's matches? I'd say Steele. Steele wasn't in my team before.
Yeah, Joe and Steele definitely. Potentially Max Holmes has come into my side at the moment. I'm just trying to figure stuff out. So depends on how deep I go in the back line compared to everyone else.
Yeah. Levi Ashcroft could be a sub-risk. He could very well be.
Yeah.
I've already read that one. I'm hearing big things about Murphy Reid from Freo 131. He looks really good.
He looks very, very good, and there's a few clubs, St Kilda as well, who are few fans are saying, "Hey, we needed a midfielder, but you let him go all the way down to their pick 13 or something." So yeah, Murphy Reid, hearing as well, Charles, that he has kicked out Erasmus and Nod as the number 1 midfielder, or midfield rookie inclusion. So one to watch definitely over the next 2 weeks, or next 1 week really.
Jack Graham season, boys.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Nah, I'm good. Also, my back line, Cheese and Zaya, Rivers, Mills, Pryor, Allen.
It's okay. Just you really just want Pryor and Allen to score, to actually play, which is the big thing. Yeah.
Travalia, Sullivan, or Reed? The last two, Sullivan and Reed, probably.
Yeah, pick one of the two.
Any chance Woden escapes the subverse this year? No.
Probably not.
Woden is done.
Poor kid.
If we get Chad, that should be enough to keep Reed. Okay, interesting. Warrior I have is with Hasty, is Sinclair. Well, look, he looked really good on the weekend. I think he might be ahead of Ari.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I think maybe they're finding that Ari's not as quick as what they want to play. There's probably plenty of reasons why. Then maybe they just want to boost up the defenders too.
Do you content creators get 11 million starting caps? Scott has Oliver at M7 now. It's probably he's probably going lighter in the forward line.
Well, he's probably got no one in the forward line. I would expect him to go very, very cheap in the back line this year. Not even a Sheasel probably starts like 400k as being his starting point, and then works his way backwards. So yeah, forward line, back line, very, very cheap. Midfield, obviously that's where the money's going, and then it's probably got Meek and TDK or Meek and Briggs or something. But I wouldn't be surprised if he picks Jordan Sweet. Let's be honest. Starting team, that's my prediction. If he's gone that cheap, he's gone Jordan Sweet. So we'll wait and see.
I think absolutely no 600k players he's claimed.
Yeah.
None of them. No 600k. That's huge. How many do I have at the moment? At the moment, I have one,
Probably
two.
More than none.
I have two. I have two at the moment. So 2, 0, pretty similar.
Yeah, they sound about the same.
Will you guys have an update on the community team? Yeah. So members will start working on that community team next week, and then we might finish it next week again.
Probably tomorrow. Community team tomorrow.
Community team, yeah. So we start it tomorrow, but we might not finish it because we're still round 0. Like we'll finalize it. Yeah, well, it hasn't been. It's obviously not going to be finalized, but we'll continue working on it next week as well, and see if we can get a nice community team going with this centre bounce community team.
Mate, if we can get one of us winning Supercoach this year, or the community team, we're on to a winner.
Top notch. Yes, he is. Joel, absolutely. Crossley was terrible. They made the right call.
Potentially.
Brew a chance.
I think they need a ruckman. So maybe they think Lob will take it. Maybe Darcy will come in as main ruckman if English is out. But I think they need someone there.
The only channel that really interacts with their followers, Centre Bounce Monday all day. I've been hanging out for it. Oh, much love to Foot Hoagie. Jeez,
thanks,
I'm actually getting better at reading your name now. With how much you comment. So, thanks for joining. Sub if you're new. Notification bell, like all that jazz. Yes, tomorrow 7:20 start for sure. Velo, Essendon are playing at 7. We can do it early. Can we do it early? Yes. We might do it at 6. I think we'll do it at 6. 6 till 7, maybe. Never gonna give you up.
I'm gonna have to do a few more pictures now.
My wife tells me I don't spend enough time with her, so I'm watching maths with noise cancelling headphones, listening to you guys.
This is the way.
Oh my God, Charles, you just killed me. I checked on my own saliva. I checked on my own saliva, Charles. You are hilarious, brother. Oh, that is so good.
Cheeky boy.
Never tear us apart. Welcome to the Dirty 30s, Joe. Thanks, bro. Joe, I'll be 60 in April. Wish I was turning 30. Oh, mate, you guys are legends. Thank you very much. Yes, Brian's average. Yes, for sure. I agree. Any game where they're losing and Draper's up forward, yeah, 100%. Don't do it. Don't risk it. And being the Bombers is going to be a lot. Shut up, Joel. Don't say that. We'll be good one day. Peatling will outscore Parker, saying as soon as Wardlaw comes back, Parker's going to spend a lot more time forward.
All right.
Understandable.
Yeah, fair enough. But we'll see.
Meme with Joe hating on Google. Yes, I need one of those. We were all talking Holmes last year. Next minute, it's Holmes this year.
Well, sometimes that's how it works, with Supercoach and whatnot. Just kind of figuring players out. I think Holmes, a lot of us didn't start last year as well. So there's a big difference there compared to, giving the option to actually start now because harped on it enough, but you start the risk, you don't bring it in. So, yeah.
Yeah. Rivers D1 is crazy, Jonas. I think it's a little bit, that's ballsy.
People are going to do it, man. People are going to do it. They're going to come in and say, there's too many 400Ks. Everyone's too expensive. Give me some money.
Exactly. Yeah, 3 Primo Rocks. Yeah, it's got to be. Surely. Where the money's got to go somewhere. Bloody hell. He's got to have 95% rookie side and have 5 million in the bank.
Done. Locked in.
Remember, full screenshot for the reviews, people. Yes. One.
Yeah, we'll talk about it on Monday. We'll talk about
exactly.
It on Monday. Yeah.
With Pitana getting injured. Yeah, well, you can start him, Barnaby. You can start him. And
you just got to be careful.
Yeah, just got to be careful. I was always planning on starting him and then trading him out to X, to Big Sherry. So that plan is still on the cards. Hello, Zishwan. Good to see you. Also, Lockie Neal, Josh Dunkley for a pod. Both look good Thursday night.
Yep. It's more just that early buy. So if you can navigate that quite well, you're doing okay.
Yeah.
No one will pick Brisbane players. Like, no one will pick them.
Absolutely. Also on Trent Rivers.
He's okay.
We're gonna keep looking into it, Harry. We'll keep looking into it. We'll see how it looks in an official practice game.
Yeah, definitely. Petrarca not being in the game hurt, but all the comments are Rivers playing mid. So yeah.
Yes, correct. Not with Sam Mitchell trying to screw us over again.
Trying to take your Harley Reid away.
Bloody Sam Mitchell. Bloody weddings. Oh, he's got a 3-year contract, apparently. Look, if he asks for a trade, he can demand a trade.
Of course.
Hey, Jono Binger. How you doing,
What's
bro?
up, Jono?
Good to see you. If you haven't subscribed to Saint Binger, Supercoach, do yourself a favor. He's a great man, Jono. We are both doing very well. Thanks for joining. We're just about to wrap things up as soon as we catch up to these comments. The LDU boat has sailed if they're offering that much money for Callahan.
Yes. Yeah, that's my assumption too. The second that they went to TDK saying, hey, here's like $1 billion come to the Saints. I thought that the same thing too.
Exactly. Thoughts on Naz? Do you think Holmes or Bellydale is a better pick? I think Naz has got the best buy, which certainly helps. And the question with Naz is purely around whether or not Sinclair comes back to halfback or if he plays midfield. If Sinclair plays midfield, then that's great for Naz. Then he might be better than both of those other two guys. But for me, I think Bailey Dale is a known commodity for me that I know he's the man back there. He's going to take the kick-ins. He's going to do all that jazz. Whereas with Naz, I don't know what Sinclair's effect will be on him.
Yeah, I think so too.
Ari has a talent, so I'm keen to see why they won't play him.
Yeah, maybe it's just fitness, to be honest. Could just be fitness.
And similar to how he slid so much in the draft, right? He has off-field issues.
Yeah, if they're still around.
St Kilda offered P. Diddy $17 million to the Saints and they will clear his record. P. Diddy declined the offer in favor of going to prison. Rockets chef, let him cook, mate. Let him cook. Yeah, we spoke about him, Harry. We already spoke about him. Fife and Young. I don't know about Fife. Does Fife really break back into that side?
No, I don't think so.
Good to see you, Maltesing. Thank you so much.
Have a good day, yeah?
Oh, I have to go. I've been having issues all night. The video has frozen. Joe looks like a Collingwood has won another flag. Good night, Maltesing.
Tom Brown, Harley Reid will sign if Essendon. Yep, cool. Draper's number one ruck.
Do it.
Cheese saying Reid must have boys. We'll see.
Yes.
He might end up actually being a selection or getting injured in round one. Hopefully not. You watch the State League Cup? No, Victoria will smash. WA will be okay, but I think Victoria will just murder everyone. Joel finished top 30. Can ask.
Okay. Cool. That's probably some interaction there in the chat. that.
before. Yeah.
I wonder if Port Adelaide can beat the Saints at the Saints' home ground.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
I think Port Adelaide's a very strong team. So, yeah, no dramas there.
Even 2 seems low, Joe. I don't remember what that was in relation to.
Draft
Sorry.
picks?
Draft picks. Yeah, probably. Yeah. God has Oliver M7, Whitfield D1, English R2, Horn Francis D1, Daniel F4. I don't know how he's done it. Been wrecking my brains, laughed my ass off. Well,
he doesn't have any. He doesn't have any over 500k players. So. Sorry, he doesn't have any over 600k players.
Yeah, so none of those are. So now that you've given me this message, I will try and decipher it for you.
Well, he's probably gone Nank, and then English, because that would be a Godfather thing.
So, he's probably done English deconning.
No, because he said English at R2.
Oh, wait, English R2. Or maybe he's got deconning in at flex. I don't know. We'll see.
Great job, guys. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. We'll let him go.
Charles, damn it. Noise cancelling the wife is dangerous. There you go.
There you go. He had to take off his headphones. They caught on to him. I'm sorry, Charles. R.I.P. I will play a violin for you. I don't know how, but I will find violin music. Cheese, thanks so much for coming on. We're wrapping this up to Legend, track confirmed to play, practice game. That will be good. Keen to see. Gorn saying tracks playing against Freo this Sunday. We'll be keen to see that one for sure. Never stop till you get enough.
Yeah.
Never stop till you get enough. Pretty good. I haven't done any videos in a while, but need to do something soon. Absolutely. Velo has Rivers at D2. Very interesting. Trent Rivers is a GOAT. Very nice. Petty at R2. Love to see it. Thoughts on the back lines? Yeah, we've already spoken about. I've already told you, John. So, yeah. Sorry, guys, for wrapping it up, mate. It's been a long one. Almost 3 hours long, this one. And we didn't have any special guests. So, thank you so much for joining. If you haven't already liked the stream, please do so. Hit the notification bell and subscribe if you're new. And for all of the members that we've got, stay tuned tomorrow at 6 o'clock. We'll be doing a live stream just for the members with me, and we'll be going over the team, the community team. For that, we'll start getting a work on that before we finish it off maybe next week as well.
Yeah, definitely, guys. Supercoach is coming quick. So keep up to date. That's probably the biggest thing I'll say is that we talk a lot of Supercoach, AFL, footy, whatnot, but keep up to date yourself on what you're going to be doing. Keep up to date on the teams. Maybe you guys have seen something you guys can share with us. You know, we've got Twitter, we've got Facebook or whatever. Hey, Big J, have you seen this thing? What do you think about this player? Just shoot us a message. It's okay.
100%. Now we'll let you go. Big J, happy birthday for tomorrow, my friend. Hopefully
thank you very much.
You get spoiled very silly. The wifey looks after you. And we look forward to seeing you guys on Thursday for the drive home.
Done. Thursday, lock it in. 5:30. Gonna be fun. See you, fellas.
Yes. See you guys. Where is the button? I'm trying to find the button. There is the button. The button.